You been good anyway?
Yeah, it's been good. I did the BSL one today.
Oh, yeah, how did that go?
You know what I just realized? I haven't done a new intro yet. Shit.
Oh shit.
Wasn't thinking about that. It went well. Artos has got a couple wins. Striker did really, really well. Striker. It was good.
The cast itself go well? Like who are you casting with?
I was just casting the 0.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it went well. It was super fast day. There was hardly any like long games.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be like that sometimes.
And you? How you been doing, man?
Yeah, pretty chill. Pretty chill.
Have you seen your
Hmm?
niece?
No. No, I haven't. It's like the only thing that's not going well right now.
Hmm.
I'll talk to you a little bit about it off stream after.
Okay. Can you see?
One sec. Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna throw out some links
Ooh.
quick. Okay. I've got YSC playing today. Okay. I like to see Mind as well. And I'm loving the Zerg lineup. That's more like it.
Good. It's a good start.
Yeah. Could see this going either Zergs or Terran's way, just based on lineup.
Mm. Looking a little Zerg favored. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Are you good to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
And after a week break, we are back. Season 3, the first week here. We're starting off with Mind versus Action on Apocalypse. Let's go, game number 1. Soup Shun, what's going on, man?
Yeah, just chilling. like a villain, watching some good Starcraft games with you, and I'm all happy about it.
I think Africa TV has now officially changed its name to Soup.
Soup, nice. How you been anyway?
I'm good. I'm good. It looks like we got a new sponsor, by the way, too. I think HMall is still technically the sponsor, but they've got that big LG sign up now, so that's exciting. LG, a huge company.
Life's good, Sam. Life's good.
Yeah, the gaming lineup. I can't remember what it's called. LG. I can't remember the exact moniker or the exact name for their gaming brand, but it's always great to see new sponsors for these big tournaments. And it just means that the game is just very healthy right now. That's the signal that we should be taking from that.
Oh, absolutely. Just the fact that there's any kind of like interest and life being breathed into the scene and the game is a really good sign.
And I mean, this first week is going to be insane. We were just talking about the lineup earlier and how kind of badass the Zerg lineup is looking right here. Sulky Hero Action, absolutely insane.
Right.
Of course, Terran looking strong too. Royal Light Mind.
Yeah, really.
And then there's Snowbest. Only person here who feels a little out of place is YSC, but Huro, he can pull out some good games as well. So still anybody's week here. Week number 1. This should be a lot of fun, dude. I'm always happy to be casting KCM, and it feels like a week break was too much. What do you feel?
Yeah, no, I do feel the same way, saying I've been looking forward to this, and I'm really excited to see this lineup. Sulky Hero Action is an amazing Zerg lineup, probably the strongest out of the 3, and Royal Light Mind is a bit of a favorite for me as well. I'd love to see Mind being chosen. It is nice to see YSC get some, stage time and chance to shine, so to speak. So we'll see what he can pull out. He is, more than capable. It's just that compared to these other players, he's not quite at the same tier.
I'm glad to see that we're not having any lackluster early lineups from Zerg. Last season, it was all about the Protoss lineup. Every single week was so stacked. So glad they're giving some other chances to some other Protoss players as well. Already getting in here, seeing the build order here from Action, of course, just a 12 hatch, excuse me, from him, and no punishment here for Mind.
No,
Mind just gonna go for the wall in at the front, and this is looking like a very normal game to start out here, just macro style for both players.
Yeah, I think he's going for 2.5 hatch and just a normal 1 Rex expand here from Mind, so pretty standard stuff so far.
The 8 Rax meta has been so strong recently. A lot of Zerg players have been opening with the early pool, but in the end, this is the superior build. Having that quicker hatchery and the extra larva and getting that second hatch down in the main is just going to give you a much stronger mid game. It's all up to the Terran though. If they want to put on that early pressure, then things can get a little hairy. Mind here not relying on that though, not leaning on that build. And, he's not going to get the advantage of having an early pool here from Action and just that wall to defend. So I think just completely even ground here. No advantage either way. And we'll see what Mind wants to pull out here. Because I always, from my perspective, I'm always thinking that Mind is going to be the one with the creativity. He's going to be the one to pull something weird out. Action is probably going to play completely standard and just try to win in a late game with the Filer play, but Mind is going to be the one trying to figure some way.
You might be right, especially with the fact that Action's playing super greedy. Like he threw down his hatchery before Spire, squeezed out nothing but drones, and built his Spire super late. So this is like about as greedy of a 2.5 hatch as you can do. So it'll be it might even just be like barely enough muters to defend and harass a little bit for some turrets, and nothing too crazy, and not a full straight ahead muter committal going right up to 10. So you might even see like 5 muters initially, and then slowly adding on.
Do you think he's going to go for a quicker third hatch and
possibly,
or a third base? Excuse me.
Yeah.
It looks like. I mean, he's sending a Ling over here to check the center left, so that drone's probably going to be heading that direction here pretty soon. only reason you'd be checking that is to make sure there's not like an SCV or a Marine just sitting and waiting to block that. I think 3 racks follow up. It's going to be a full 4 racks play here out of mine. That's going to give him a lot of pressure. But if we see a Hydra Den, like you were saying, very low commitment to mutas and then straight into tech,
right,
that would work very well for Action in this situation.
Yeah, if you could buy enough time with the initial mutas and the speedlings just to kind of make mine play a little bit more cautiously and not probe for weakness early on, then he might be able to get away with that kind of like quick transition. As it stands, mine's going to want to force as many Sunkens and mutas as possible. So we'll have to see if the timing of this 4x can be quick enough to punish Action here, but we'll have to see.
Mutas are going to be made now. No sunken colonies have to be produced. Oh, an evolution chamber.
Ooh,
over here at the the third hatchery here, and this is indicating not complete, like it's not a certain thing here, but it's looking like a Crazy Zerg build from Action.
Yeah, no, this is kind of Crazy Zerg timing of making the evolution chamber as well, so does indicate that so far. Doesn't mean it's for sure that, but it's looking like that. So he might just be trying to rely on Mutaling for quite some time while getting a lot of Carapace upgrades and trying to go straight into Hive, straight into Ultralisk, and try and get into a late game state as soon as possible here. And he has forced a decent amount of turrets without that many Mutalisks committed, and he basically waited until he could make 7 at a time so he can come in and start one-shotting some SCVs, because you need about 6 SCV kills to remain on economic curve with the Terran if you're going Crazy Zerg.
Well, he's already got about 3 here. 2 to 3 so far. Gonna just dip in and get a few more kills. 4 turrets are able to fire, though, every time he flies in, so not the greatest trade each time. He is coming around behind this army and forcing it back just a little bit here by threatening the supply depot. A good move by Action, who is building kind of a minimal number of units and no sunken colonies at the front. Actually, might have added on a few sunken colonies now, but he does still need to buy that time.
Right, yeah, he's thrown down like 3 or 4 Sunkens just now, and he's going to buy as much time. He's going to dog the Bioball from behind. He's a little bit slow on chasing this Bioball with these mutas. He may get punished a little bit for that. He needs to make sure he knows exactly where this Bio is at all times, and he's like lost a few seconds windows here and allowed mine to get on top of this high ground plateau. Now he's going to be warding away the mutas with half of his forces while the others secure the ramp, so he can come down here unchallenged, maybe even get the snipe on this Queen's Nest, preventing the Hive timing. Has got 5 Sunkens on the way in morphing. 3 are only completed right now, but has got a whole stack of mutas to try and challenge this.
I wonder if that was the only Queen's Nest. That would be a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there is no Queen's Nest. So the Queen's Nest is going to be a little bit slow here. Another fly through to get as many SCVs as possible, but that's a lot of turrets. He's not really going to get too much damage here. Queen's Nest going to start once again out there in the front, and I never really thought about this before, but imagine if that got sniped a second time, how late the actual Ultralisks would be at that point. That might actually be a huge deal.
Yeah, you'd be kind of forced to like play a lot more heavy into Mutaling as a result. You may have a lot of gas banked up, but it's going to be a bit awkward for you navigating that. Action's doing quite a lot of damage with these mutas, though. It has cleared out these 2 turrets on the north side of that mineral line, even getting the snipe on that medic there. If he can somehow just hold the fort, he's got about 5 or 6 Sunkens. If he can add on a couple more, and hopefully that Queen's Nest finishes just before it gets sniped again. Okay, can start the Hive. That'd be really a nightmare situation if he also lost the Queen's Nest again. But yeah, now Action can go into Hive. He has a Guardian option as well now. He doesn't have to go Ultralisks to win this game. He can finish with just Muta Guardian from here. And being able to harass this spot endlessly in the north part of the natural expansion is really critical as well, because you can make 4 Marines at a time, and those can be dealt with easily. So mine's in a little bit of trouble right now if he can't break the front.
I don't think he's going to be able to break this in Action. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen this play out of him, but I've definitely seen Action try stuff like this before, where he just goes for 2 base and just masses of mutas and eventual transition. Usually he would go for a Lurker and like a Defiler transition, but here he's going into that Ultralisk, which I haven't really seen before on 2 base. It doesn't seem like it should work, but mine's kind of played into his hands by coming out and moving over to that front and allowing Action to take over this natural. The drone here just running around looking for a place to throw down a hatchery, but that Marine is already on top of it. Another drone going to be sent out here. He will try to secure a third gas eventually, but Mind, I mean, he can just keep denying this forever, I think. While Action is continuing to deny the natural, it's like a 1 base versus 2 base situation here until Mind really sets up these turrets once again and gets his Irradiate online to deal with those mutas.
Oh, he's going to get a cancel on this hat trick. Oh, he gets the kill. Oh, that's actually really huge. Action wasn't paying attention. Didn't realize there was 2 Marines worth of DPS on that hatchery. Maybe thought it was only 1 and didn't calculate the stim correctly. And now he's lost this hatchery. It's actually a little bit of a sticky situation. He has got this natural denied, but now there's 2 Irradiates available to Mind. He needs to have perfect Mutalist splitting here. If he loses too many of his... Oh, he's taking quite a bit of damage. Does get the Muta split out, but there is still another Irradiate to contend with. Does manage to fly away from the range of that. Is going to maybe survive for the time being, but needs to be very careful with these Mutas. Is the only thing that's giving him the map control that he needs to get this third up right now.
800 gas is the bank that Action's managed to accumulate here. He needs to spend some gas on that second does he have armor +2 already? I'm not sure. He needs to spend on that armor +2, and he needs to get Ultralisk Carapace and also Ultralisk Speed. So that's a lot of gas that'll have to be spent on just purely on upgrades. It doesn't leave much left for Ultras themselves. There might only be, 3 or 4 Ultras popping out in the first wave, and it'll be relatively easy for Mind to fight that if he has the bulk of Marines that he needs to DPS those down.
Well, quite a lot of Marines did get shaved off by the Mutalist Karask earlier, and we did deny mining for quite some time in the natural expansion. So relatively speaking, Mind is a little bit behind in where he should be, but he's still got quite a considerable force out on the map right now. And like you say, +2 Carapace hasn't finished, needs to get those upgrades as well. So it will be some time before these Ultralisks become super relevant. And by that time, Mind might have the critical mass that he needs to start focus firing those Ultralisks down as well. So he might get this kill on the 9 o'clock, keep Action on 2 base, and actually might be able to get a win out of this.
Yeah, this is why we don't see many players go for this style of play, the 2 base Ultralisk. You just cannot make many units. You cannot make many Ultras with this style. You're spending so much money on upgrades, and then the number of Ultras that pop out is pretty pitiful. So, I mean, Action, he loses that base in the center left. He starts another one down at 6 o'clock. That's kind of his last-ditch effort, his last hope here. But he needs to take a really good fight coming up soon and actually snipe a bunch of these science vessels as well, because every time an Ultralisk gets irradiated, the armor is just not going to matter. They're going to take a ton of damage and get brutally softened up here. And there it is. 2 Irradiates go down already. These Ultras are going to be very badly hurt before the fight even starts.
Yeah, this is really rough. Probably one of the worst case scenarios for Action now. He will survive with his units. The Irradiate will not kill the Ultralisk as long as it's on full HP, but it still will soften them up a lot. And we do have the +4 Carapace on the Ultras now, but it's going to be a little bit tricky. Action's going to have to engage extremely with a lot of finesse here, because he needs to somehow kill 4 vessels and not let the bio ball just like mow down his Ultras one at a time. So he's going to try and play a little bit guerrilla warfare here, kind of get around the back of this bio ball and cut off retreat and cut off reinforcements, and maybe see if he can bait the Terran army to and fro in the middle of the map while he has by himself some time to build up some forces here, because right now he doesn't even have the speed on his Ultralisks.
Yeah, it doesn't have speed, and how many Scourge does he actually have here to fight the science vessels? Oh, he's got 4! He picks off 2. That's a great trade right there, although some of these Ultras will die just straight up to the Irradiates. 2 Irradiates will kill those, so this is really, really brutal right now. Almost every Ultra that he's managed to put together has been irradiated. And the ones that haven't are just going to get trapped up here in the top right-hand corner. This is going to buy Action some time, but, I mean, he's got nowhere to run.
Yeah, Mind's playing like an exterminator right now, and he's being very methodical, and he's like finding the most efficient way to deal with these like pests on the map. And so far, Action trying to sneak around with the Mutaling on the left-hand side and hide the Ultralisks in the back pocket of the base. But Mind's not a foolish man. He knows exactly that there's some Ultralisks up in the corner somewhere, so goes and tries to target those down. Pretty good trades on the Ultralisk. Does kill one of them though, and that's it's good enough for Mind. He's already thinning out the herd, so to speak, but needs to be careful not to lose too many of these pockets of Marines like this because he needs a critical mass of Marines to keep fighting these Ultralisks. So Action can run away with the game if the vessels or the count of Ultralisks gets out of hand for either side. So both players are going to be desperately trying to snipe the Ultras and the vessels as much as they can right now. Vessels going down, but so are the Ultralisks, and right now this is favoring Mind until this third base is mining gas, which it just has only now started.
Yeah, we're running out of units here. One more Ultra going to pop out, but this is just a real sign of the times here for Action. He just doesn't have the gas to continue to produce, and now he's going to lose a bunch of Overlords here. Completely supply blocked. Even that 200 gas that he's managed to accumulate can't be spent right now on any sort of unit that he could possibly need. And I mean, he's sitting here on 2 bases still. 15 minutes in, we're on 2 bases. It's not a winning situation for Zerg in any sense of the word.
No, this is pretty dire for Action here. He's supply blocked. He can't mine his third gas. He's only going to pump 3 Ultras a minute here with that 600 gas a minute, and he needs to make Scourge on top of those Ultras, so he can't even get that amount of Ultras out. So yeah, pretty much everything is going wrong for Action. The only thing that's going for him is that Mine doesn't have a third base up yet, but it doesn't really matter. Like with the Sim City or the Natural, it works better against the Ultras. As you can see here, it's much harder to come in here with the Ultras and get something done because the Marines are kind of like body blocking them up and they can't even get in there. So yeah, unfortunately, this actually really favors Mine, this current game state. So he can kind of just keep Action contained on 2 base as long as possible, keep denying this third if possible, and with the upgrades getting closer and closer to +3 weapons for Mind here, it will be not that long before he can keep challenging these Ultras, because they have got their +5 armor right now, but in about 30 seconds, Mind's going to be finishing his +1 weapons, I think.
I don't know how Action justified getting that 3rd armor upgrade. I mean, we've got almost no gas at all, and it just finished now. This is after the point where the shoe is already kind of dropped here, right? Like, even if we take a fight now and get our 3rd base up, I really feel like Action is completely in the driver's seat. 5 Ultras going to come up here, taking a pretty good trade, but no Lings to support them. Pretty much nothing here to help out with the Ultras, aside from a few Scourge, and the Scourge just get gunned down. The Science Vessels survive. A few more Lings and Ultras pop out, but again, dire situation here for Mind, and the vessel count is just continuing to grow. He's going to have so many Radiates, 1 for each Ultra, and we're going to probably see D-Matrix get thrown down here shortly as well.
Absolutely. And +3 weapons kicked in just at the tail end of that fight, so he was trading even more effectively. And no Kaiser Blades upgrade for the Ultras, so it's taking 3 chomps to kill a Marine if there's a medic healing it. So really inefficient trades here for Action so far.
Action looking for that miracle engagement, but this is not the composition for miracles. This is like a mathematics composition. If you've got enough, then you can chomp through the Marine forces. But, you know, there's no spines here. There's no miracle plague that can happen. It's just a numbers game, and the numbers are not in the favor of Action here. He taps out GG, and our first game goes to Terran.
I think Action kind of switched up his game plan with the Queen's Nest snipe a lot, and didn't really have much to go from there after that getting sniped. I think it slowed his tempo down too much, yeah. Plus he like really grossly miscalculated trying to get his 3rd base up, and like Mind was super smart, like not just having 1 Marine out on the map to deny it, but having 2 Marines, so like just barely had enough DPS to kill it before the Mutants could ever get back. So he was chasing the drone into 12, and the drone was like 2 shot from dying, but Action just threw down the hatchery to save the drone, but didn't turn around the Mutants, and because there was 2 Marine stims, like it had enough DPS to kill the hatchery regardless.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, Mine played really well that game.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
On to game 2 here. YSC gonna come out against Mind. Retro is the map. Let's see what Huro can do.
Well, I really do like Hero, so I hope he does perform well as one of my favorite players if he can perform better in action later on. But so far, we got YSC going up against Mind in game number 2, and I'm hoping YSC can perform. He's probably the weakest player in all 3 of these lineups, but he's capable still. Every pro gamers are very capable. They're just not quite on the same echelon, so might see. Do you think carriers is going to be the option here for YSC, like sort of 3-base carrier play maybe?
Yeah, it's potential. It's possible. I think it's pretty strong here on this map. There's not a huge number of bases that you can take here, and there's quite a bit of like empty space over the 12, 6,
Right.
3, and 9 that you can kind of hang out and just kind of punish those spaces. It's hard to get Goliath up those ramps to defend those spaces, so I think it's a potential here, but we are in vertical spawns, which makes the push potential from Terran pretty strong. You can come straight down through that base in the center right and directly up to the natural here very, very quickly. Like, it's not a long rush distance here on this map, so we'll see how that affects this matchup.
Yeah, I think with these spawns, like, you'd have to be really sneaky about getting carriers. I think if Mind identified it, he wouldn't have too much issue with dispatching the timing at all.
Yeah, Mind is not one to get the wool pulled over his eyes. He's not one of those guys who's gonna, suddenly get surprised by a carrier transition. Most likely, he'll be scouting you properly, using his comm stats efficiently to figure out what's going on here with the Protoss player. Generally, when I see Mind go down, it's less about mind games and more about just overall macro and taking the fights properly with good micro. He usually doesn't end up getting tricked and faked out.
Yeah, a little bit of a game of tag here with this probe and SCV. Keep running back and forth, chasing after each other. Mind showing that he's on top of his multitasking there and not going to be taking too much hits on that SCV. And looks like we're going to be considering a fast third here if we stay on this trajectory from YSC. If he throws down a second gate or goes like fast tech, maybe not, but so far it looks like without any early zealot, he might be wanting to take a fairly fast third base here.
Yeah, it looks like he hasn't scouted the Terran just yet, so he's going to be keeping his Dragoon back at home, just being nice and careful here, making sure that there's nothing coming in, no Vulture or Marines coming to attack him. He's just waiting for that probe to eventually figure out what's going on this map. And usually when you go with a build like this, you just immediately send the Dragoon out and you don't even scout with the probe. But interestingly, YSC didn't scout early with the probe. He waited for the Dragoon to come out and then he sent the probe.
Right.
Kind of different. He's really focused on making sure that this SCV doesn't get in. And now he's going to chase the probe as the second Dragoon comes out. What is he hiding behind this? What is he trying to mask here from Mind?
Well, there's so many things that Protoss can be doing early on. Like, this could even just be a straight up like 5-minute 10 DT if he didn't know about the Nexus and the Natural and this kind of thing. So he's probably thinking like this is going to be like some kind of like 6-minute robo timing. So he wants to come out with like a standard fake double push and maybe get some damage on punish a little bit here and delay the third as much as possible. Mind's aware of the many variations though, so he's like kind of hedging his bets and like ticking all the boxes. So he's going to be setting up his mines as 6 while also putting on a little bit of pressure here just in case.
This is a common push here with the 4 Marines and a couple of Vultures coming out. I actually casted a game today in the race battle for BSL. It's a very similar format to this tournament for foreign players, and Artosis actually did the exact same push, just a probing push, figure out what your opponent is doing, check how many Dragoons there are. We don't even see a commitment here from Mind. He just places mines and backs away. But you can absolutely go into the natural, just kind of poke, see what's going on, and get some more information about what's coming since you didn't get that SCV in to scout.
Yeah, this pressure from mine is basically forcing a second gate out of YSC in like a 6-minute third timing rather than a 5-minute third timing. So it like slows down the Protoss by a whole minute. It does kind of force them into heavier Dragoon production, but I think overall this is like really favorable for Mind. Like slowing down the third this much, it puts him in a very comfortable position going into the mid game.
Just standard smart stuff here from Mind so far. YSC going to be throwing down that Nexus, as you were saying, just getting himself into a good position. But I feel like we need something special here out of YSC. What is his tech going to be? How is he going to outdo Mind here in this game? Is he going to go into like early Storm? Is he going to get Reavers or quick speed shuttle? It seems like he just wants... Okay, I thought that this was going to be something else, but we actually have the robotic support bay, and there will be Reavers out shortly. I'm curious to see if YSC has a level of control to compete with Mind here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that as well. Ooh, almost getting out with these vultures. Not quite, though. Not enough hit points on those to get out with one. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Mine confirms the third base timing without having his comsats ready, so he doesn't even need to make double comsat right away. If he doesn't want to, he can make one comsat at a time. I think he's pretty confident about the build order choice. I think he knows it's 2-gate obs into third into Reavers. I think he's pretty well aware of that, even though he hasn't got comsats yet. And he's going to be going into heavy factory count now, around about 7 minutes 20, which will give him like a really strong 5 factory timing to do anything he wants. Pretty much, he'll survive any pressure from YSC if there was some kind of committal, and he'll also be able to put on some pressure of his own if he stays a little bit greedy and goes tech heavy here, and also goes straight into carriers or something, which he won't. So yeah, I really like this from Mind, and you don't have to attack with the 5 factory as well. You can just basically build a lot of units and then just take your third base.
I wonder if this is going to be the 4 Goliath 5 factory timing attack.
Probably.
Because I actually saw this exact play today from Artosis.
Yeah, it's
which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
he actually managed to pull apart Mist with this play. And it really does work fantastically well, right? The Reaver is there to kind of slow you down, and if you just get barely in range with those ranged Goliaths, you take 2 volleys to pick off the shuttle, and then you can clear out the Reavers. Man, it is tough here with the delayed third to have enough ground army after the Reavers are gone to hold on against that 5 factory play. Yeah, there it is, 4 Goliaths. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, you as the Protoss player, there is still some ability to deal with this. You can, say, for example, like try and snipe the Goliaths with some carefully placed Scarab shots if you're on top of things, and if you can get that countdown a little bit, make it a little bit harder for him. Oh, he's just gonna lose the shuttle! Oh, not like this. Oh, this is worst case scenario for YSC without all these Dragoons also dying for free here. He's going to try and slow down the army with the Dragoons, but I do not think this will be sufficient anymore. That's just like really put him in a hole right now.
Oh my gosh, YSC. I mean, this is this is really bad right now. This is about the point on ladder where the enemy types Naga tells you to get the heck out. This is bad.
Yeah, this is really
bad situation here. YSC
like,
is gonna. Yeah.
Okay, this is like flying into the opponent's base with your Mutalisk and just forgetting that they should have turrets at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what are we doing here? Like, I mean, you know that this could be 5 factory Goliath and he could have 4 Goliaths just chilling at his rally point right there. Like, we need to be looking at the shuttle when it's flying into the natural. Yeah, I'm really confused about YSC's play there. Maybe he's just nervous, not quite as experienced and cool-headed as some of these other guys, and I think that's the main issue why you don't see them as often, is because it's not so much that their skill isn't there, it's more that they can't perform at their usual skill while in high-pressure situations like this.
YSC kind of falling apart right now. He's doing the best that he can to take a good fight here with the Dragoons, but the big siege comes up.
Ooh.
He pushes everything back. Another shuttle is going to pop out here. Dragoons are flanking this, which is pretty decent. I mean, he's going to get 2 kills, 2 tanks picked off, but we're closing in on the natural here. We've still got, 4 Goliaths ready to go. He could snipe this shuttle once again, and the position is just way too good here. 1 Scarab shot does get off, Okay,
Ooh.
that Reaver took a little bit of time, but the Mine's doing so much damage here. Good pull, good drag, and he will clear this. Look at that. He does manage to hold this off.
This is crazy. Like him losing that shuttle and Reavers, like kind of like triggered Mind into doing this like Hail Mary push to try and really like tighten the noose around him. But yeah, YSC's navigated this pretty well. Decent enough unit control with that pincer attack, clearing up the Terran contain, and Mind's got a third base going on the way but behind this, but the supplies are looking a little bit more normal than they were a moment ago. Before it was like YSC was only 10 supply ahead after that dramatic loss of the shuttle, and now he's back to being like 20, almost 30 supply ahead. So this is looking a bit more stabilized of a position. So I think I wouldn't say necessarily that he's ahead or anything, but I certainly think like YSC has kind of negated that bit of that issue that he created for himself there. So I think so far so good for YSC after that bit of a disaster earlier on.
Oh man, yeah, this is surprising for sure. Did Mind overextend by pushing forward too quickly? He was adding on more factories to make that push work with 7 factory, but he didn't really wait until those started to kick in and actually pump out units. He kind of went ahead of himself and might have put himself into a rough position here where he probably should have been able to just straight up win after picking off those really, really important units. Now, YSC can't take anything away from him here. He took a bad situation. He's made it into a very playable one. He's still being kind of denied map access right now. He hasn't been able to get out into the middle and clear out all of those mines that are placed all around. So he definitely can't get down to the bottom left. Maybe he's actually sending a probe down there with a shuttle. That's potentially possible. He drops a zealot. Does he have a probe in here? I think he might.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he's just going to drop the probe and build a Nexus. Pretty smart play here from YSC.
Yeah, I like it when players take the matters into their own hands and come up with like new solutions to age-old problems. Like so many players would just be like, "Oh, I can't send a probe to expand because there's a vulture out on the map and it will just always die," and they just wait to clear the vulture out and the mines out. But really, the reality is, if you've got a shuttle with Reavers already, just utilize the shuttle and use the Reaver in the shuttle to deny the vulture killing the probe as well. Yeah, I really like that forward thinking from YSC.
Gonna allow him to get this Nexus here. He does still want to clear out those mines though. Needs access here to the middle of the map. Otherwise the mine could just pull up over here and set up right in front of that natural opening. So sending out just single zealots right now. I guess there's a lack of observers at the moment for YSC, but here comes a big drop into the natural. Reaver here could get huge damage, although it is going to get caught on the
vulture was blocking.
Comsat there. Damn, that was rough. The Comsat really blocking that as well.
Yeah.
Looking for this big hit. Can he get some real damage here? He's only got 1 kill on this. There we go. He gets 2 more. But only 2 Reavers and that many Zealots plus 2 shuttles, and he only gets 2 SCV kills? Man, this is not worth it.
Yeah, and he's going to lose the shuttle as well because he wasn't quick to run away. So this is pretty much it. Yeah, one of the worst case scenarios you could have hoped for with that drop just not going splat right away. This is really rough for YSC. Like he's kind of got like the pieces in the right place, but he's not able to like fit the puzzle pieces together accurately enough. And he's kind of like trying to make them squash and like, mold to the puzzles to make them fit, but it's not quite looking good, like the whole picture doesn't quite work.
Well, dropping Reavers and killing SCVs, it does take a certain amount of finesse. He's going to go for Templar, though, and that's something that you just can't really mess up. Drop the Templar, press T, click the mineral line. You should be able to get a few kills at least.
Yeah.
But will he be able to dive into the natural again? There's a lot of turrets there, plus the floating racks. I feel like we're just about tied up tight here for Mind. It's going to be very hard to get any economic damage now.
It looked like Mind had a vulture on hold position between the Comsat and the mineral and drilled his SCVs to the bottom, so like it was almost guaranteed to like glitch out the Scarab. So it looked almost intentional from Mind to avoid that Scarab there, with the first one that dudded.
That would be insane. I've never seen something like that before, but that does sound like something that Mind would do. Something that he would actually figure out. Just a small way to take an advantage and negate some of the potential value out of the Protoss army. Now, bringing a drop around the outside. This is interesting. Why is he killing his own pylon? Oh, is it blocking the Nexus?
It's blocking the bottom
I guess
right
it
hex.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately it is. A little bit annoying there to slow down his Nexus even more, but if he does get this base online, he's doing pretty good for himself. If he can slow down the Terran's own expansion rate, keep him on 3 base for some time, Mind also can expand to the center of the map. But look at this Storm drop here at the natural expansion of Mind. Does not lose too many SCVs, but that third Storm, though, does get the exit kill on 4 additional SCVs. So that was a decent trade there. Much more SCVs went down than last time, so a little bit of wind in the sails for YSC. Not quite what he would like at this stage in the game, but he's doing something. Mine now starting to become maxed out on these 3 bases. We'll be wanting to do a big push soon, or at least try and secure an additional base right now. Maybe taking the center of the board, I think.
Yeah, he's going to shove forward here, and this is a big, scary army. YSC has max supply, but he's not going to trade well with the army units he's gathered. He just threw away all of his Storm, and he's going to throw it away again. I'm not sure I agree with this choice. Oh, the mine there, denying the 2 Storms, and now he doesn't have splash damage to deal with the army. He just lost a ton of goons here to just walking into this army from Mind. Dude, so much has gone down here.
He stormed all the vultures, and now it's just tank Goliath, and he's making lots of zealots. So if he can like survive just for a moment here and get a lot of zealots out, maybe he can overwhelm this army. There's not a lot of vultures left coming out.
Yeah, maybe. He will be able to replenish that vulture number pretty quickly, but yeah, there may be an opportunity here to dive in before the reinforcement wave shows up here. Do we have any gateways down in bottom left? It looks like we might have like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
The cannon, luckily, is actually in range of this, and a counterattack's going to come through potentially. YSC wants to push over here towards the natural rather than try to break this attack. Will this be worth it here? Dropping on top of everything, but there's 2 turrets hitting his shuttles here, and a lot of them are going to go down. Whoa, a great Storm there. 9 kills on that Templar, doing a big chunk of damage, and he's actually forced Mind to come home.
Yeah, Mind's in like full retreat mode. He tried to do a tank push here at 6, but look at YSC. He's actually ready with the defense on that as well. So has shut down the split tank push at 6 and bottom left. Trying to do a lot of damage, morphing some Archons. Going to be cycling the Zealots into the main base now, trying to get on top of some of the production in there. Just keeping Mind distracted and back and keeping his army in retreat mode right now while he's got time to stabilize and pump out more units from these gateways. And with the gateway set up in the bottom left, he can also make High Templars down there to storm from the high ground. A lot harder for Terran to attack into these positions. Has got some science vessels available to him for the EMPs to try and, like, you know, mitigate some of that storm potential. But so far, like, this is looking like a playable game here for YSC going forward. But the supplies are looking like it's still Mind favored right now.
Yeah, Mind, he's lost a lot of SCVs. He won't be maxing out as quickly. But right now, he's got a pretty big army. He's sent a lot of that home to deal with the counterattack. Oh, is he going to get any more storms here? Just barely able. Oh, great dodge. Really sick dodge there.
Wow.
I guess that Templar will be picked off.
I'm really impressed by Mind's ability to not lose too many SCVs to the crazy pressure from YSC this game. He's done so many tricks to not lose too many SCVs.
Yeah, he's done a great job hanging on to that economy. Here is YSC, though, coming in once again. Right up into the natural. He's done this like 4 times already, and he's going to drop another couple of Storm Boys here. Oh my god, 15 kills total with those 2 Templar. The attack coming into the natural. Can he just hold things back a little bit longer here? Wait for a few more rounds of units, because Mind has actually dropped below 100 supply. If he just manages to increment out a few more groups of Zealots, he might be able to break this and take this game.
Yeah, he's got the contain kind of set up right now, but he needs a lot more units to get the job done. If YSC can buy enough time, he's just going to evacuate the natural expansion. It's already mined out, actually, so this is pretty much timed perfect for YSC. You can just sacrifice this natural expansion now and slow down the push as much as possible and keep being efficient with, like, bombing the tanks with Zealots and just trading out storms from the high ground and really trying to get the maximum potential out of every tiny drop of units that he's squeezing out. Mind is on 3-3 upgrades to 2-1 or 2-2, I think, of YSC right now, so slightly Mind favored quite significantly in the upgrades, but so far the supplies are 50 in advantage of YSC. Does have a lot of probes out on the map, so relatively speaking, he needs to He's going to do a great job of busting out on the right-hand side, though, saying I think that YSC actually might break out, and he's doing another Stormtrooper on these other tanks on this other, and with the goons hitting from the high ground and the pincer, he actually might clear all of this up.
Yeah, he is going to clear all this, and Mind wasn't even able to kill the 6 o'clock Nexus, unfortunately. GG is called. YSC, the comeback here. We almost counted him out.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a rough start, losing the shuttle immediately. But somehow YSC able to bring that one back. I am kind of stunned here that Mind allowed that to happen. That is craziness, but YSC definitely showing his class to everyone, all the viewers here. His potential is clear. This man has some serious good control in Protoss versus Terran, bringing that one back and putting Protoss on the board.
That's a wild game. It's like YSC made such a big mistake that it made Mind like make his own mistake of overextending, and that gave him a comeback potential into the game. It's kind of strange.
All right.
Hero.
Next up, Hero versus YSC. Now, the former name of YSC was actually Hudo. That's what I was saying before. Hudo sounds very, very similar to Hero.
Yeah.
Glad he changed his name here. Otherwise, it might get pretty confusing in this cast.
Yeah, let's just call him YSC and Hero. I think that's the best for sure. Otherwise, it'd be really confusing.
Well, cross map here. Which map is this? Is this one of the new maps?
No. This is the circuit breaker.
Oh, this is right. This is I can't even remember the name of it right now. That Radeon, that's the one.
Yeah.
AMD map.
With the nice little logo in the center. And the name of the map being themed after the brand, one of the product lines, Radeon, the graphics cards.
I'm really excited to see those new maps. They haven't been set in stone just yet. Not sure exactly which of the brand new maps are going to come through, but are going to be chosen for ASL 18. But as soon as they do make that choice, I think we'll probably see the KCM switch over to that new map pool. We'll have some fresh spaces to play out these games on. I mean, there's a lot of crazy maps in that pool. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah,
Shin?
I've seen them. There's some of them I'm like really not sold on, but I'm sure they're subject to change as well. We might see a lot of changes to those before they do get picked in the map pool, but we'll have to see exactly how those pan out. There's only like 2 or 3 of them. I'd be like really curious to see how games play out on them. The rest I'm not that interested in, but I'm sure that the people choosing the maps for the pool will also feel the same, and we'll probably get the best of the pool.
Yeah, I hope so. 9 pool here, or over pool here from Hero, and gonna try and delay here. YSC got lucky with the cross map spawn, but he may have to pull probes to save this cannon. The cannon went down a little bit late here because of the early Nexus. And he will get into this wall. And yeah, nice block here so far from YSC. A lot of probes being pulled here. A lot of probes being pulled to make sure that these links don't get in. 2 probes go down. But he will hold with this cannon. Wow, look at how many probes he pulled. He pulled like 80% of his probes there.
He was really respecting Hero. I think he pulled like maybe 2 or 3 too many, but he was really respecting Hero for some reason, or just was really worried about anything going wrong there. Even just one ling or two lings getting into the main base can be a task switching nightmare in the early game. Having to deal with someone that's got high APM harassing your probe line with the 2 or 3 lings in the main base can be disastrous. So making sure nothing went wrong was also good, but did mitigate some of the probe losses there, pulling the low HP one back and what have you. So didn't take too much damage despite the lost mining time. But Hero chugging away on 3 hatcheries has the option to throw down a Hydra Den if he is going to go for a 973 now, but I think he's doing it.
Really, cross map. We're going to go for a Hydralisk Bust. That's interesting. It's also a horizontal natural, so it's not the best. But there is a pretty far back cannon here. There's a lot of space to hit this front wall, even if you don't have a range to pick that off. But first Zealot's going to come out here. Let's see if YSC can figure this out before the Corsair comes, because we're definitely going to hit before that comes out, and that earlier slowdown in the mining might actually affect the Corsair timing here.
I think that is the consideration here. Even though it's cross map and what have you, I think the fact that we got such a big probe transfer from the YSC, we lost so much mining time. So it does slow down the relative timing so much that even though it's cross map, even though it's 973, even though it's not as a vertical expansion opening, it doesn't matter, because like as long as we can deny this probe scout, it is slipping out though. Needs to make sure he can shut down any kind of scouting from identifying that this is 973. But yeah, with those other factors considered, this build will work regardless of the optimized game state of being able to execute it. So this can still really work in Hero's favor. And the fact that it is that current game state, it might make it even harder for YSC to figure out this is what the follow-up's going to be. And it's, he's going to do like a 4-hatch Hydra, it looks like. It's going to be a 976.
The extra hatchery here. I'm not sure how this maths out, but
it's because the probe, he's doing this as a transition purely because the probe can't be denied because there's no link speed on the way. So he just knows that it's going to be scouted. So he's just going to like make it seem like he wants him to see this 4th hatchery. So he's like, oh, okay, you're just making a few Hydras because you're going to put on some fake Hydra pressure. And now this will double trick YSC because he's making it look like he's doing a fake 973. But it was a legitimate 973 opening. He is still going to be committed. So YSC's got to make 2 choices. Do I commit to the defense or do I assume it's a bluff? And he's going to be taking the wise choice of just making the defense. He could hedge his bets here and like cancel cannons at like 99 with like scouting with the Corsair. But because of the delayed timings for the minerals, like he actually can't really hedge his bets here. He has to commit to one or the other.
And looks like he will commit to the defense here. 4 cannons going to finish up shortly. He still sees Hydras coming across the map, so it's likely he'll continue to make cannons, but as soon as he sees these drones back here, I think he will be able to cancel, 4 or 5 cannons should be enough. He will be having to add on additional forges inside the main just to make sure that he gets these upgrades going, but this is not like an unplayable situation here for either side. The transition is coming from Hero. And, YSC here going to get an Overlord, and he will get that scouting information as well, knowing that he's not going to be getting all in right now.
This is why I really like Hero as a player. It's
Hero got he got the Corsair. He found it
on the exit.
Yeah,
wow, that's a big deal.
He brought 1 Hydra back from the front and actually sniped it.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
That's nuts. But yeah, he's actually going 5 hatch, by the way. Like, he made a 5th hatch ages ago. So, like, he very quickly identified that this was going to be only a fake pressure and then transitions. Like, Hero can do so many different styles and so many different variations at a very high level that it's very difficult to play against him as a Protoss player because he's so comfortable in doing whatever. Like, he can do 4-hatch Hydra and kill you, or if he won't kill you, he'll just transition into 5-hatch. And then no matter what, he's always going to be comfortable and happy to play his A game. So he's not like one of those players which, like, they're very good at playing, like, a few set styles, and that's kind of all they do, and they like have a few variations of those styles, and that's about it. Whereas Hero's like kind of like a jack of all trades but also master of all trades.
Gymnast here, flexible with his play styles, not going to be boxed into one play style here or the one mode of playing ZVP. He is flexing his muscles here and moving towards that very high drone count, like 60 or so drones here. Look at how many are in the natural. I'm sure it's comparable in the main and third, and the number of Hydras we're going to see here in a moment is going to be insane.
Yeah.
YSC, I mean, he's been slowed down. He's been forced to make cannons, forced to remake forges, to restart upgrades here. How much army is he going to have moving out to take this third? And will Hero just be able to deny that going forward?
I think so. Relatively speaking, it's not so much that Hero's going to make a lot of he will make a lot of units, but it's the relative timings of the Protoss, because he's slowed down that much. They lost mining time early on, that the fake Hydra bust forcing so many cannons, really slowing down his gateway count. All those things add up to Hero being able to kind of do whatever he wants. Oh, we do have a Dark Archon to try and counter this muta transition though, so there is a chance here for the Maelstrom to do something, but these mutas actually might just come into the main and just start harassing before the Maelstrom's even close to being ready. And the cannon's not finished in the main base, critically saying. This is really
He wasn't
rough.
making any Corsairs at all, by the way, during this.
Wow.
So the cannon's going to end up falling. We've got a Templar coming into the main base. He's going to look for a storm here, but he can't storm while the mutas are right over top of these probes here. Otherwise, he's definitely going to lose that. The Dark Archon, he tried to pull it away, but it ends up walking towards the mutas, and it reveals itself. Now some Dragoons popping out here, so maybe he can stabilize, but he's already taken a lot of damage, and this is just going to slow down YSC that much more. Yeah. Every single move that Hero is doing is not a kill move, but it's just buying time. It's just slowing down the Protoss, and eventually all those slowdowns are going to accumulate to a small enough army that he can just overwhelm with Hydra.
Your Hero's 30 supply ahead, which is insane at this stage in the game. Yeah, that's nuts. Like, he's not only harassing at a high level, he's also macroing at a very high level here, and still playing at 400 APM, smashing out units from every lava, every hatchery. Has a fourth base as well. So he'll only he's going to add on hatcheries at the fourth base, do a drone transfer, and he's just going to go up to like 7 to 9 hatchery production, set up a massive contain, and as long as the contain is strong, he'll then transition into like going hive, and doing like late game stuff. But until then, he's just going to do nothing but macro. So we're going to see like everything poured into the strongest contain you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, lurkers may be coming here soon. The mutas are flying around everywhere, just making sure there's no units out on the map. We should see overlords positioned all around this base here, so that the moment YSC tries to send anything out by air, it will be picked up on by Hero and chased down by these mutas. Dude, YSC, could we see another comeback? I mean, this feels even worse than what he had versus mine, but I don't know. We'll see what the storms can be.
Hero might actually let him come out onto the map. He might like come in here and trade, and like then like run away and let him try and take a third, and then come in and kill him. Like, he's hiding a lot of his units back at his base right now. He's just like trading with the bare minimum contain force. This is kind of weird from Hero. He's like almost like begging YSC to... He's even running away with the lurkers. He's begging YSC to come out right now. He wants to like trick YSC into like thinking that, oh, okay, maybe I can come back. And he wants YSC to come take a third base or come out onto the map, and then he wants to swallow him up.
Let's see. YSC moving towards his third base. He's got the Maelstrom now. He's got the Dark Archon. A few storms are available. There's not really any mutas for the snipes. So, the Templar here, we've probably got about 3, 4, 5 storms, something like that. Can Hero just bust in here? He's transitioned fully into Lurker Ling at this point. And he's moving on towards that hive play with his fourth base, fourth gas online. What is this? He's just going to spread way out here in the middle? Is he just going to set up a further out contain now?
I think he's toying with his food at this point, yeah. I mean, he's 40 supply ahead at 12 minutes. I mean, he's either like just guaranteeing the win and like playing like super safe and just allowing the opponent to expand, 'cause it doesn't matter. He's just going to like, play full base, go into hive, and... Or we're going to see, like, look at this, just massive armada. Just look at that virus just moving across the map right now. This is like a new coronavirus variant, guys. Oh, this is kind of crazy. Like, look how many units there are. Like, the Maelstrom's not even going to do anything. And he's got all his units pinned on the right-hand side as well. So now he's, like, lurker contained from, like, being able to defend his own base right now. And all these Dragoons have no Templar support, so they're going to be mowed down by target fire of these Hydras as well. And with the Ling support, this is a nightmare situation. Even the probes going down there.
Yeah, probes being transferred. Not the right time for that, but Why is he gonna try to break out of here? There's just way too many lurkers, so way too many lings, and the endless streams of red coming across the map is Sauron Zerg-esque. I mean, he can't do anything with this Maelstrom, like you were saying. Maybe he can throw it out now, but GG is called. He just taps out. YSC getting completely overwhelmed and destroyed by Hero.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, the absolutely stellar stuff from Hero as well. Like, it's almost like he was trying to guarantee that win as much as possible and, like, really kid him with that overwhelming force that was just nothing that YSC could possibly do, even in his, like, wildest of dreams and the best storms of his life could never overcome.
완벽한 승리의 조건. 진짜 슬로건 너무 잘 맞아떨어지는데. 방금 전 조일장 선수와 윤철 선수의 경기도.
All right.
진짜 이보다도 완벽할 수 없는 승리의 조건을 만들어 놓고 사실 이게 굉장히 잔인한 표현인데 토스를 유린했어요. 그죠? 정말 잔인한.
Okay. Blitz Y, our next map here with Royal hitting the field top right. This is a decent map to take on a strong Zerg player, I feel. Basically, there's no great place to take your third base.
Right.
And there's a lot of opportunities to like break a Zerg player who's trying to play macro.
Yeah, and you don't want to open up with Lurker as Zerg against good players, so it's not like you can just go Lurkers and shut down this catwalk and what have you. Like, even though that might seem like a good idea to newer players, at the high level, Lurkers are just not a great opener at all. You need something that's much more optimized. Like, you need units like Mutalisks or Zerglings that can, with your unit control, get better results, whereas with Lurkers, like, there's more opportunities for the Terran to abuse you than you them until Defilers become relevant.
Yeah, so likely we'll just see a Muta opener here. Royal, I would expect some sort of 2 racks out of him. He's so good at punishing a Zerg player and just making sure that they, can't get away with too much, and they have to build the right number of Sunkens and the right number of Lings to hold on. 12 hatch here coming out of Hero, and no 8 racks for Royal, so he's going to get away with this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, this
CC.
This reminds me of like the era where Flash was just going CC first every single game, and like no one was countering him. And sometimes when they did try and counter him, he'd still win, even though he was opening CC first. It's a crazy era to be in and to watch and witness, and we're seeing the same kind of ballsy action from Royal here. And it's so common for Zergs to open pool first because of the opportunity of going 8 racks here. So it's like you're expecting the 8 racks so much that you want to go pool first, and it's 2-player maps. You don't want your hatchery to be blocked, right, by the SCV if it's like just a fast SCV scout even. So usually you do go for pool first in these situations. So having the balls to go CC first like this is crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. Curious that Royal even built the barracks inside the main as well. It's interesting decision there, and we are gonna have the second supply depot at the front. Like, he's setting it up for a wall, but there's no barracks in the wall. It's a little bit funny here.
Yeah.
Hero gonna go ahead and scout, see everything that's going on, and realize that he could probably take another base here. Maybe he should throw down a 3rd hatchery. I'm not sure. He's already got gas going, so I guess he's just going to get into a lair. I'd like to see his main. Did he actually make lair, or did he go for speed here? Maybe he wants to Ling all in and try to break him?
Well, there's no
lair is on the way.
There is no wall, so Ling all in would be a consideration for sure. But I don't think Hero would necessarily commit to something like that. I mean, maybe there's like a 10% chance he does something like that. But even though he's capable of it, it's not his like go-to. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't usually do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think he's just going to take this as a challenge. Like, all right, fine, Royal, you get a little advantage here. Nice cheeky CC first. Let's see if you can handle my mid game.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad choice as well. Like, just because, I mean, CC first is such a potent advantage for Terran, but I mean, he's still got to execute his build well. It's not like he can just like A-move his Marines and win. So Hero certainly, with the 2.5 hatch, will be able to catch up in the economic curve the longer the game goes on. So as long as like Hero trades well in the mid-game phase and doesn't like get punished or anything, he's going to be sitting pretty still.
Yeah, let's see what he can do here. Royal already moving out with some Marines. He's going to threaten, try to force some Lings like I was talking about before. Always in his mind with that SCV, he can see what amount of Lings are being produced here and try to counter it appropriately with the number of naked Marines moving across the map that can deal with it. But he's got to be very careful. If you start to lose early Marines, you're going to lose that advantage that the CC first granted you. So he's moving out a little bit and then kind of switching it up and moving backwards over and over. And now that he's lost the SCV, it's unlikely that he'll go across the map here.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, he's, you know, trying to force Lings, maybe a Sunken, but yeah, I mean, just a few Speedlings, and going to be checking in on what's going on. Does lose one of those Zerglings on the exit, not the end of the world there. Would have been pretty bad if he lost two. Has the Overlord still in position to spot this move out, which is a much more standard move out timing, around 5 minutes, 2 medics and about 8 or 10 or so Marines, and 2 Sunkens will be forced as a result. You could go like mass Speedlings here to counter this, but then you run the risk of being really behind economically if he just turns around. So really a better idea just to get these 2 Sunkens finished. But the timing might be such that if he stims and goes right now, he might get in here before the second Sunken finishes, but I don't think so.
Yeah, these are going to be really close right now. There's the stim. Second Sunken finishes. So it looks like he's going to be on time here, and Royal will just have to back away. Going to run on back home and take his advantage here and take the addition of those extra sunken colonies as a sign that we're going to have less mutas here to harass and just roll forward here into the next stages of this game.
Yeah, I mean, losing those 2 drones to mine, and also the cost of the creep colony and the Sunken does make it so that you can't spend all your gas to make these Mutalisks to go up to a high threat early on. But it's like Hero with the free hatch opening will be able to like still get 7 mutas out here, so he can still threaten the natural expansion. There's only 2 turrets in the natural actually, so if he throws down a 3rd Sunken and starts to harass the natural quite heavily, and Royal goes for a counter, this might work out pretty good for Hero.
He's not going after the turrets here, just focusing on picking off SCVs one by one. He already has like 3 or 4 now. Should be able to get another one on that building SCV. More Sunkens coming down here, just like you were saying, as he continues this harassment. Not worried about that Marine medic ball, and Royal is just going to turn around and head back home, realizing he cannot break through that natural. This is already enough damage to make this worth it. He's on the curve now.
Yeah.
Against Royal. He's killed enough SCVs at this point. He just throws down his Queen's Nest and he will transition.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to be going into Valkyries, it looks like, is Royal. And losing that many SCVs and then committing to Valkyries is going to be a little bit painful. I mean, he lost a lot of potential mineral income, and Valkyries are very expensive, 275 minerals each, so they do build fast as well. So it's not just that they're expensive, but because they build so quickly, to get the maximum juice out of your production time, you're soaking up so many minerals to get that going.
Well, he does get the scan there in the middle. Do you think he's going to cancel Valkyrie production here? Because we're definitely switching into Hive Tech here. We even have the Evo Chamber down for Hero. So
if it's crazy Zerg, then Valkyries are still great.
Right. You can just go after the Overlords while the Ultras are trying to be produced. Is he actually going to go for this? Is he going to commit to this? It does seem like it, and I don't see, I really don't see a Hydra Den, so he is going to go crazy Zerg here on 2 base. What is up with the Zerg players today, man? Action did this exact same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, he could also go Guardians, I guess. He doesn't have to go crazy Zerg, but he will have to do something to have any kind of long game potential, so he probably will still go Ultralisks no matter what, even if he does go Guardians. And with Valkyries coming out, I think Guardians are a lot less likely as well, so it most likely will be a crazy Zerg play, but after doing this crazy like amounts of Mutalisks and Lings initially, but the Valkyries are now starting to pop out, so you won't get much more damage with the. He was really hoping for these Mutas to kind of get a lot more damage done and put him on a clock to get vessels out, but with Valkyries coming out, it basically, you know, increases the time that you can defend yourself by like 2 or 3 minutes, so actually Royal's going to be denying any further damage done to him, which is really critical here, because usually there'd be a big window where Hero could just sit there hammering him for like at least another minute or two and really get a lot more damage done.
Well, this is wild. I mean, maybe Hero just saying like, hold my beer, or like, let me show you how it's done, action.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to take this build that you couldn't make work against Mind and show you exactly how to make it work. And he's going to fly in here, try to deal some damage. He's got to be really careful with those Valkyries there. 3 Valkyries will tear these Mutalisks a new one. So
yeah,
he's got to be super, super careful with every engagement. Does he have 6 Scourge to actually take this? He's got 2, I guess.
Yeah, he's
not enough to pick off all of these, but yeah. Counterattack?
He's going to he's going to counterattack and just sacrifice the 3rd, I think, is the play. No? Wait, okay. I'm a little bit confused then, because then he's going to sacrifice the 3rd and get nothing done, if that's the case.
Yeah, this 3rd is going down 100%. He will just run away the drones here and sacrifice this base. But he's not diving in on the main here. And taking some volleys from these Valkyries coming out. He had a great opportunity there for a moment, I felt like. There was no Valkyries in the natural. There was just a few Marines there. If he had gone for that counterattack, he might have actually done quite a bit of damage.
I think the bunker changed his calculation. He was worried about too many of his units getting sponged up and then having no map control at all. And he wants to have a little bit of map control so he can help Pincer with his Ultralisks that are going to be coming out soon. So maybe he's trying to calculate not wasting any units, so because he needs them to support the Ultralisks, because he's not going to have a high production. So if he can maintain his current unit, and if he invests into so many Valkyries, maybe he's calculating that there won't be a sizable enough Bioforce to counter him, and he's just going to make a big wall of Sunkens. This could work for Hero, but it's going to be tricky, because the Valkyries will eventually start killing Overlords, and then you can't even make units. So he needs to make sure he gets some kind of answer for these Valkyries.
Yeah, we're getting to that level now where the Valkyries can just kill all the Scourge and none of the Valkyries will die. Oh man, the Scourge just acting so stupid there and not connecting at all. Here comes another round. All of them die again. Now it's getting really, really dirty here. Lings are going to run by the bunker, and there are some vultures popping out here, funnily enough. He's going to be transitioning to deal with those ultras with just mines and stuff, but Ling's getting in here, dealing a lot of damage right now. They're going to be picking off quite a few SCVs, and they're going after the machine shop right now. He picks that off. I'm not sure what exactly was being researched there. Maybe, I guess, no, he's already got mines. Remember, mines were being thrown down.
Okay, then...
catching the Mutalisks here. All of them going to fall. That's rough. You need Mutas. You need Mutas to help you actually connect with the Scourge, right? The Mutas have to soak some damage so that the Scourge can connect. More Overlords popping out here, but they might just be sacrificial. Royal's just coming in with the Valkyries here, ready to slaughter these.
Oh, this is painful. Yeah, I mean, he's got a spore colony to try and protect the Overlord. Look how many Overlords there are. Oh my god, look how many Overlords could go down here. Saying he has got some Ultras connecting with the Bioforce, but they're going to get mowed down and target fired down in their small numbers of only small units. That's so many Overlords. He's got 3. He's got 3 supply.
Oh no. That noise shouldn't sound. You sounded like an Overlord yourself there at the end. My god. That was painful.
Oh man, I felt like an Overlord dying.
My poor Zerg heart, man. You can't take any more of this. The Ultras are going to maybe break through here. He's dragging the mines actually into some of the Marines, but they deal massive damage here regardless. And there's just enough SCVs and Marines here in the back to probably hold this off. Ah, man, this is rough, dude. This is everything that Hero's been able to produce, and he's finally going to get some more Overlords out. He can almost make something right now. It's so close.
Imagine making that many overlords and you still can't make anything. That's wild.
That's crazy. Well, he's gonna pop out a few more Ultralists here. He's gonna start a few more Overlords as well. He's got the mineral bank to do so. He has a third base down in the bottom left-hand corner, and he's trying to get that gas online. He's managed to deny the third against all odds here right now. So, I mean, things are still semi-playable right here for Hero, but it's just so rough to lose that many Overlords, man. It's terrible.
To be fair, the science facility is delayed, so there's no vessels right now, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're gonna have a big mech transition from Royal at this point, and that's all you're gonna really need. But if somehow Hero can make this game, or keep this game scrappy, I should say, and keep the Terran in small enough number and the tanks spread out enough. Oh, Mind Drag on those SCVs! Oh, this game is crazy, saying what is going on? Needs to be careful not to use these ultras for free. Wants to just trade in though anyway. Gets the Mind Drag on the other tank to take it out. But tanks are only worth 100 gas. Ultras are 200 apiece here. So far the trades are still going in Royal's favor. And the Vulture's coming in to the bottom left. There is a Sunken on the way, but if he gets his gas mining shut down, this is going to be really painful for Hero. He needs that 900 gas a minute to have any chance at coming back in this game.
Yeah, there's not going to be any Overlords over here, so mines are going to connect on anything that gets sent down to clear that out, and he's not going to be able to mine from the third base for quite some time here. Eating another mine there. Very annoying stuff right now for Hero. Oh, dude, that sad little spore colony there sitting underneath that Overlord. Just can't do anything, man.
Yeah, it's rough.
And neither can Hero, man. He's just so far behind right now because of that Overlord wipeout. There's really nothing else kind of like that, I feel, in this game where you reach like a critical mass and then your opponent just can't build anything. It's kind of wild.
Well, on the one hand, you can build loads of Overlords because of having lava, but then that's also a double-edged sword. Now you can't build anything anyway because you just spent all your lava and your money anyway. So it's like, yeah, a little bit rough in every regard for a Zerg player losing that amount of Overlords there. If Hero wins this game, I'm sure we're going to be doing backflips off the wall, Sam.
Yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous, but I think it's unlikely here. Royal is such a strong player, such a good contestant here. His army is getting really strong with the number of tanks that have been produced now, and Vulture's even able to fight the Ultras here. They're so low in number. And it's just not a great composition to deal with mech. The Ultralisk, he doesn't have the amount of income that he would need to transition to a different tech. And just what he can build right now is terrible against what Royal's doing.
Yeah, and because we are so far behind, we've even got the units that we counter killing our units as well. So we got like even Ultras dying to Vultures without mines being utilized, which is crazy. And he can just ignore these sunken colonies and kill all there. But we do have Hero trying to do a little bit of a dive bomb here. He has got Irradiate though, so I don't think this is going to go very well. And with two Valkyries also supporting, does kill one of those Valkyries with Scourge, but this is just a pitiful attempt from Hero trying to make the best of a bad situation, but he's still coming up short here, saying this is looking more and more untenable as long as the game goes on.
Yeah, he finally gets some mining going down at bottom left, but we've got Royal on the same number of bases and going mech, so his army is just always going to trade better. Oh, he just barely saves that base. That's crazy that he managed to save that. Eating some more mines, though, on his Ultras and just letting them get softened up right now. He adds another base on. If Royal just doesn't attack for another 5 minutes, maybe we can still see Hero win.
But we have to see Royal not attack, because even though it's a very bad situation for Hero, the only reason why Royal is trading so well is because he's setting up these siege positions and not attacking. Like, if he does commit his units out onto the map and they do get swallowed up a little bit, there is more comeback potential. But if you keep all your tanks together and you keep the Ultra count whittled down, there's no hope for the Zerg at all. Like, the tank count will continue to grow and swell, and it will just become way too much of a Mount Everest for Hero to try and ever hike up. And he will be a very motivated person trying to hike up that Mount Everest, but like every other person that's not made it, they were once a motivated person, and unfortunately I think it's going to be the same result here for Hero, and he's going to freeze up on Mount Everest trying to climb it.
Wow, okay, we're just going to sack a whole bunch of medics here. Kind of funny, we don't really need these units anymore, so they're going to go out and die. And here are going to gobble those up, but that's just really not a big deal here for Royal right now. I mean, look at this. Hero's going to get 2 more expansions. How did this even happen?
Well,
how is this even being allowed to happen? We've got a base here on high ground with no defenses.
It's because it's mech. So he's banking on the fact that Royal won't push out with his tanks until he has like 20 or 30 tanks at least. So he's just, and it is right to assume that because Royal shouldn't move out as well. So he can kind of get away with this for probably like a minute or 2, but eventually Royal will do the big push. Eventually. It's just that he's probably got a couple of minutes of breathing room here. We'll probably see a little bit of a... Yeah, he's going to start shoving down on the left-hand side, but it's just more like a Terran versus Protoss kind of approach. He's going to be much more methodical about it.
Wow, a lot of irradiates here ready to go for Royal. I mean, everything getting irradiated. All these mutas, and there's just really not much left aside from that. Gonna drag a bunch of mines here. Lings are all gonna go down. A singular Ultra making its way across and doing absolutely nothing but just eating about 200, 300 damage. Now the hatchery is in range. One more shot will take that out. Hero is on his last legs here. He's going to be losing his drones over at that base. He doesn't have a Nidus to get those out onto the map, and the last few Ultras end up falling. That gas bank that we had earlier, 1,500 gas, just disappeared, and looks like he's made all mutas.
Yeah.
So one final gambit here from Hero. Can he just...
He just got scanned.
Oh, God. A scan.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, man. That's not looking good.
No, and he's also got quite a lot of vessels. Could also make Valkyries again if he wanted to. And he's getting all the drone snipes here, even though there's 2 Sunkas to try and deny. It's just so painful for Hero in every regard. I feel like Hero is Rocky, just getting punched around the ring over and over again. And we're just hoping that he can find a way to start swinging back once the guy tires himself out. But Royal's just not getting tired. And I don't think there's any hope. I don't think Adrian made it to watch the fight to give Rocky the spirit that he needs to win this time.
No, I mean, it doesn't matter how much spirit you have right now. Mutas are coming in, and they're just being met by masses of Goliaths, and irradiates on all of them. There's turrets here. There's just so much mech to deal with. He does get every single vessel, which is a big deal, and he's going to start to whittle down the Goliath number. He gets another kill here on turrets, but more Goliaths are going to come forward. That one scan that came down we saw earlier was actually pretty impactful here, in that he just was able to start making Goliaths right at the moment when he saw that. And, oh, he's shooting his own tank. That's kind of funny. That tank's going to go down. Nice.
Well, okay. Well,
Hero's going to clear out a lot of this.
Right now, Hero's going to get a little bit of damage done, but eventually, Royal's not only going to counterattack, but he's also going to make like more anti-muta stuff. So eventually, Hero will get shut down in the air more. But there is still a window to punish this. Like maybe he catches some of these tanks or these vultures on the exit as well. As long as he gets some kind of damage done here and prevents Royal from growing too much, there's a window that I think Hero could potentially come back in this game if he can shut down the anti-air.
He's doing a great job of pulling out the mutas as they get irradiated. He's got +2 armor and +1 attack, which I'm a little bit surprised about, honestly.
Come on, Rocky. Come on, Rocky. Take the punches.
Somehow he managed to sneak out those upgrades during all of this, and he's doing a pretty good job shutting down these Goliaths over and over again. We're going to go after the Science Vessel as well. He gets that. He kills off all of the Goliaths. Can he actually take out top left?
Come on, this is crazy. So far, he's doing it. His turrets on the way are finishing up, though. Will make it harder to bust his position, but still trading off these Goliaths as they come out in a trickle. Looks like Royal's getting a bit fed up of this, though. He's had enough, and he's shoving his tanks down the catwalk right now. There's a couple of mutas and Scourge to slow this down and punish this, would make this a little bit of a weird situation right now, because there's no anti-air down here, and there is some Scourge, so Valkyries can't come down to support that. He is barely trading off these Goliaths with target fire, but with the 3-2 weapon upgrades on those Goliaths, he is trading out at an advantage against those mutas, so eventually will force a retreat in Hero. Meanwhile, though, Hero slowly trying to chip away at these tanks with the mutas. Does lose the hatchery, though, so reduced now to just 1 base worth of economy to the 2 of Royal here, since his natural is also just now mined out. So this is a really bizarre situation we have. If Hero had just 1 more mining base right now, there might be a lot more life in it for him, but I don't think he's even got that many drones mining in bottom left.
No, he doesn't have much economy at all, and this was a wild game. Hero really made it into a contest here when it potentially should have just been over. However, I think this is likely the end. He's picking off a few last tanks here, squeezing out as much damage as he can. As the last Mutalisk go down, Goliath pushed forward for the win. Royal takes this map away and shuts down Hero here. Wow, this has been a great week already, man.
Yeah.
I mean, week number 1 looking fantastic, back and forth and back and forth. Now we've got, I mean, Best or Snow's going to come out next. They're probably going to be able to shut down Royal, am I right?
I think so. This is going to be a real nice back and forth tempo kind of week, and I'm really happy about it. But I just want to point out, I'm so impressed by Hero making a game out of that after being that behind. Like, every other Zerg player would have just wanted to scream and throw their keyboard out the window in that situation. 3 supply. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely know the feeling, man. Trying to go Crazy Zerg into Valkyrie is such a painful experience. You always wish that you built more Scourge, but even, you know, as many Scourges as he produced, he made a lot. Just not going to be enough there. And we're going to jump into our next game. Hero's been eliminated. Snow or Best? Who's it going to be?
Best. Told you.
Best.
He's the best. Ladies and gentlemen, tilt your seats to the upright position and strap on in. This is gonna get wild. You hitting a bong or something? What's going on over there, sir?
Just a sec. I need a drink of water.
Yeah, get some tipple, my guy. My guy needs a dribble of tipple. Choking up in this. Choking on these great games. These games are pretty girthy, what can I say? So I want Best to smash Royal, Sulky to smash Best, and then we'll see how Snow fares. Because ideally I would like to see then, like, maybe, I don't know, like a Light versus Sulky final set, or Light versus Snow would be good as well as a final set.
Someone's winning. Mio offered her services to cast KCM.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun to have a third caster.
Oh my gosh.
Be funny to, like, I'll say something like deep and insightful about the game, and she just goes, "He's building pylon," or something like that, you know.
We can just ask her questions the whole time. So
Yeah.
what do you think about this play?
See her try and wrap her head around it. Well, the dots and the red shapes are moving in that direction, and those red shapes seem to be doing better than those blue shapes. So I guess that guy's winning.
I think red is winning, right?
Yeah. I also would like to get her we could ask her, like, questions about, like, oh, what do you think of this unit? Like, do you like how it looks and stuff? Like, get her, like, aesthetic opinion on the game as well, from, like, an outsider's perspective. Like, what do you think of this and that, you know? what race does she like the look of the most, and what that kind of thing, you know?
Might not be as interesting as you might think.
Maybe not.
All right, let's go.
PD님이 저 아까 호스트님은 아니시죠? 아니 그렇죠? 저분은 추.
Best is gonna get sent out here to take on Royal Dark Origin. I'm getting sick of this map, man. What do you feel?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of it either, both as a player of it and a spectator of it. It's not as bad as some maps we've had in the past, but I mean, it's not super great. I would like to say that I'm happy about the best choice. This is the plan of action I expected and wanted. I really want to see either a Sulky versus Snow. Sorry, yeah, a Sulky versus Snow, or a Sulky versus Snow versus Sulky, or Light versus Snow final set would be my ideal. So I want to see. Ideally, I would like to see best win here, and then I would like to see Light beat best, and then we can go from there. And but I think as long as that happens, I'm going to be seriously happy and excited.
Been a great week already. I'm surprised to see Zerg behind at this point, but just the performances from our other lineups have been fantastic. Nothing to complain about at all. Now Royal doing a bit of a sacrifice here. He's actually slowed down his barracks timing in order to make sure that he can't get gas stolen here. Now, players have found multiple different ways, many different ways of dealing with this early gas steal, but I haven't seen too many people employ this exact method. It is known, though.
It is known.
You can slow this down. It's not like something we've never seen before, but I'm not sure how this is going to math out if we see some pressure coming out of Best here in the early game. It doesn't seem like he's building a Zealot, but if you imagine a Zealot walking in right now before the Marine even finishes, it could be pretty devastating.
Yeah. Although it looks like we don't have any early Zealot on the way. At least not... It doesn't look like... Yeah, I don't think he's making any Zealot at all. Maybe just going to be a 21, 23 Nexus here, going straight into Dragoons. Oh, the Observer's lagging out.
Well, in that case... Oh, wait a second. SCV goes down.
That was the low HP one he was harassing earlier. Yeah, because he only like tickle repaired it a little bit. It was like 2 or 3 shots from dying earlier on, and Best hunted that down, manually clicking on the SCVs to find the weak one, and finally got the kill on that.
That's rough. Well, I was about to say that Royal's going to get away with this scot-free because he, kept the gas, and he doesn't get punished for having the late Marines, but he loses an SCV. That's a big pickup here for Best in the early game, and he's going to get away with not making any early Zealots, just straight into a Dragoon and a very fast Nexus.
And yeah, that was like a 20 Nexus as well, so super early from him. Getting away with the absolute earliest possible Nexus in this current situation. And also, like, I think Royal's going to be hurting a little bit because Terran build orders are very well optimized. So he went the fact that he went for this fast gas style and also lost an SEV to a probe scout. I think this might be a little bit awkward for Royal because he had something very specific planned out. Like the bunker's going to be ever so slightly late, for example. So the Goon's going to be a little bit more annoying here at the front, and everything's just going to feel a little bit off for Royal, if you know what I mean.
Let's see if Royal throws down this bunker now. He does push back the Dragoon, but with the second Dragoon coming across the map, you got to be careful. Gonna throw that bunker down, and there it is. He's got a bit of a glut of gas right now. I'm curious to see where that's going to end up going. Or if that's just... oh gosh, the Vulture almost getting blocked there. It does manage to get by. But I'm wondering if this is just, something that he has planned for this gas, or if this is just a problem due to the early lost SCV and the gas take at the very beginning of this game. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure either, to be honest with you. But I was really impressed with the body block on that Vulture. Was almost a good shot. Ooh, a little bit of a DT action going to be coming out of Best. A little bit of sneaky. This also could be a Vulture drop build. A DT drop build potentially, rather than just straight up DTs running in, or it could be trying to glitch over the DTs over the back mineral here, using a probe to slide them over the mineral fields where the temples are.
I see a robo here, so I really think this is going to be drop.
Yeah, I think so too.
As well. It looks like that DT drop, and the real benefit of the DT drop play over going for something like hopping it over the mineral patch is that even if there's a scan, you can just pick it up. You can just pick up the DT and keep juggling it and not allow the units to pick that off. We're going to fight here in the middle of the map. Pretty good control so far, though, from Baz. He picks off the first vulture and backs away from the mines. Very, very nice play here from Baz. He's not going to take any damage from this, and we're not even going to get a vulture up across these bridges to throw down some mines. It's very, very good for Best right now because he doesn't want to allow any mines to go down at this third base to prevent his third from going down. Because he's not going to have observers here. He just doesn't have the gas for it. He's going to be building a bunch of DTs, drop. He has to get upgrades and all this stuff. So, yeah, he just doesn't have the money to actually pop out observer right now. Preventing the vultures from getting over here and throwing down this mine is high priority.
Yeah, but it's pretty semi-all-in what Best is doing, though, in the sense that he has to get something done with these DTs for this to be like a very playable game still. So like he's hoping to get at least something done with these DTs, because if not, then he is kind of just behind. Like he's got lower production, slower expansion timing and what have you. So yeah, he needs to get something done with this. It looks like Royal is kind of expecting the possibility of it being Reaver, but the timing of the shuttle is a little bit slow, so you might be suspicious and think that it is a DT drop as well.
Got turrets everywhere. Everything's ready here for Royal. Unlikely that we'll get a lot of damage done here, but maybe he can pick off some buildings on the periphery. Maybe he can find a little spot here with not enough vision, because there's no scan or anything. Getting completely denied thus far.
Yeah.
And he's just going to drop way out here on the periphery and just look for some buildings that he can hit. And there's really nothing here in Royal's base that he can actually go after.
Royal saw the blurs actually and repositioned his tanks, so he's really on top of things, is Royal. Doing a great job of negating any kind of early game damage. The shuttle's being moved over to scoop those up so they don't eventually get shut down in that main base. A little bit unfortunate here for Best. He's not out of the game or anything, but he was hoping for a lot more done here. This will keep Royal pinned down so he can still set up. But even maybe getting a probe or two here with his vultures, pretty big.
Yeah, picking off a few probes here, extending his advantage right now. DTs are going to be laid out at the front of the natural and just see what they can pick off. Anything coming out or, deny Royal from pushing out, at least until he has scan. It's too bad that Best didn't fly around and into the main base from the bottom side here, because there's a bunch of buildings down in that area that weren't totally covered by the turrets that could have been abused. But here, he's just not going to be able to do anything with these CTs aside from stop these turrets from coming up out here in the front.
Yeah, it does force like the comsat, slows down any kind of early push timings. It does allow him to maybe, eventually get some storm drops off as well. Like he might be hoping on like the Terran moves out, tries to take a third, and around like 9 minutes 30, 10 minutes, we start storm dropping and getting a lot of kills racked up. Or just having like a gateway man army to fight Royal and just smash him with his usual ape arms, just wrapping around the Terran player and demolishing even like the most impenetrable looking defenses. Oh, is the storm drop already?
Oh my goodness.
Right on time.
That was a very fast storm drop. Holy. Royal was not ready for that. And he just lost. He lost a huge amount of SCVs there. Being the fact that he's only on 2 bases right now, most of his saturation is here at the natural, so that was a lot of kills, and Best picked up the Templar. He's just going to be, hanging out, waiting for some more energy to come back in and finish off those damaged SCVs as well.
Yeah, kind of wild. I mean, I did expect that from Best, but the timing was a lot more crisp than I anticipated, so really impressive stuff from him. The third base is on the way for Royal, so he has still got a pretty good setup as long as he doesn't just straight up die. But he was like just about 40 supply behind Best right now. I mean, there's a chance that Best could just bowl him over with his like usual bulldog antics of just running into the Terran player with Zealot, Goon, Shuttle, Templar, and just out executing him.
Oh, here we go. Another storm drop coming in. Does he have the storm? He's got the energy. All right, gets a few more kills. 9 total on this Archon, and 9 doesn't sound like a huge amount, but at this point in the game, it's very, very painful. This is a super early storm drop, and the damage here is going to take a long time to recover from because we're just 2 CCs.
The SCV's blocking at the bottom of the ramp. He can't get his units down to defend against his Archon. There's a chance if his Archon to get a lot more damage done, but also Best isn't paying attention. So we're seeing a really weird situation where Royal is using the AI to his advantage of like body blocking that Archon with the Zealots, while Best is executing an attack on the third base right now. And SCVs are being pulled to the third base as well, so they can help defend and like bottleneck this up a little bit. Storms are now going down, so the SCV's also in trouble. A lot of Storms available to Best as well, and he might be able to come in and just crack open this Terran position and shut down the third base entirely. This is really rough for Roy. He's on 60 supply to 120 of Best. Like, as a numbers game, this is looking so Best favored right now.
Yeah, this is just typical Best here. Definitely the very fast DT drop into Storm was something new that we haven't seen before, but this follow-up attack absolutely out of Best's playbook here, and he takes out the CC. That is so bad for Royal. I mean, he is light years behind at this point, and fourth base just went down for Best. He's just pumping out units like crazy with such an advantage. It's hard to imagine Royal being able to bring this one back with 70 supply over his opponent. Yeah. Best is feeling great, looking great, and set up for a big win here.
Yeah, I mean, Best must be feeling like Harambe in heaven, wearing sunglasses, like sipping like cocktails right now. Like he's like prime ape mode. Like this is his element right now.
Yeah, he's delicately handling this little child here, Royal. But he could smash him at any moment. His fists are balled up. He's ready to fight. And the moment that Royal steps out of line, I think we're going to see this man get splattered. He's slowly edging forward. Look at how just slowly and tactfully Royal is edging out here towards the third base. He knows that Best is just waiting for this moment.
He's a kitten in the hands of a gorilla right now, saying he needs to be very cautious in how he moves around. The gorilla could just tighten his grip at any moment and just splat. So yeah, right now this is kind of like a dire situation. Best is almost maxed out and Royal's only halfway there. So that's an absolute crazy state of affairs to be in as a Terran player. Third base will be starting to go down on location, floating over now. But I think it's way too little too late. Eventually Best can just decide to just tighten the noose, squash this little kitten in his big gorilla paws, and there's not going to be much that Royal can do about it here.
90 supply advantage. We're gonna see what that looks like here with Protoss coming in against this army. Like, look, we just don't have anything, man. There's nothing here for Royal. Most of his tanks are actually up on high ground here now, and I mean it's not even funny how one-sided this is. It's kind of crazy, really.
Yeah. It is like watching a gorilla play with a little kitten. It's so one-sided. It's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, if Best just attack moved, I think he still would win. It's crazy. GG finally going to be called, and we are going to be having the narrative that I wanted here. I'm really excited that we're having this back and forth between the three races. I think we're going to have some really great sets coming up here for the final, Sam. Now we just need Sulky to beat Best. And then we're going to have some crazy bangers of a finale.
All right, here we go.
승리의 조건 LG 울트라기어 KCM 동족 재학년 2024 세 번째 시즌의 개막전 6세트는 대장 김민철과 중견.
And here we go. Sulky coming out here. Can you run it back? It's time for the Sulky show, man. Just like in the finals. Was it the semifinals or the finals when he just ran it through?
Yeah.
Took it down everybody on the whole squad.
Oh, he played insane, saying. Well, one thing I wanted to say, I really want to see Sulky beat Best here, but I don't want to see a Sulky show per se. I want to see, because then we'd have, I want to see maybe like Light versus Sulky after Best goes down, and then we'd have, if Light wins, we got Light versus Snow. It's a really great final set potential.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Sulky versus Snow either. Anyway, this goes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we've got the strongest player, definitely the strongest Zerg player, maybe the strongest player right now here on our screens in the blue. Sulky playing on Kiminchil. I've never seen that ID. He's no longer needs money. He got that prize money from ASL. He's sitting pretty now. Changed his ID. He's feeling good. Gateway first year for Best. Scouting in the wrong direction, and
yeah, he wants that money, saying, so he's gonna be playing his heart out. That's for sure. He likes his money, and the only way to get that money is by playing well and winning the weeks, trying to get that Old Kill prize. The Old Kill prize isn't on the table for him yet this week, but we'll be seeing him having potential to secure that prize later on in the season. That's for sure.
yeah, it's hard to stay on the top for very long. Only Flash was able to do it for more than a couple of seasons. You got to take as much advantage of your dominance as you can while you have it. And Sulky here, like you said, not able to get that all kill, but can he carry it home for the team? Can he carry Zerg to a victory here?
Well, I would love to see it. I want to, yeah, like I said, I want to see Sulky win this game, and then we've got like Light versus Sulky, Light versus Snow, or Sulky versus Snow potential games coming up, and all of those will be absolute bangers. So as long as Sulky wins here, I'm going to be super happy. And Best though is like no slouch. Like, even though it's not his best matchup, he certainly is more than capable in this matchup as well. So far, almost doing a good job of chasing down that drone. Going to be coming into the main base now, trying to get on top of these drones just before the lings are hatching. If he can get just 1 or 2 drone kills, that's going to be huge. Does get a beautiful drone drill on this Zealot, though. Going to be denying any further kills for the time being, but the lings now hatching out. Going to be getting behind the minerals with that Zealot and Probe combo. But with some good positioning of the lings, you can cycle around that Zealot and pick it off from both sides.
You can hit over the wall here with the probe. It's so annoying. That 5 HP drone, is he going to go for it? He doesn't. And the target here on the probe picks that off. Really, really well done here by Sulky. Missing an opportunity to kill a drone, but took a pretty decent trade there behind the mineral patches regardless.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good for Sulky, honestly. And losing just 1 or 2 drones would have been pretty critical damage there. But because we didn't get that, just some lost mining time, this actually works really well for Sulky. And he's got to be going for that 973. And with the horizontal entrance to this expansion as well, it's very favored and close spawns. So I think this is a very good choice from Sulky. Usually against Gateway first openings, you wouldn't go for 973. But if you start to get control of the Zealot situation early on, like killing that first Zealot, you can much more confidently go for plays like this.
Yeah, the vertical entrance makes it a lot more difficult to hang on here, and there's almost no space behind this to build cannons, right? Only above the Nexus and below the Nexus. However, 2 Zealots, 3 Zealots are going to make their way into this natural, and he might actually find out about the 973 coming here, unless we got a bunch of links popping out right now. I guess he's got a few popping here. 6 are going to come forward. Can he actually hold this? I think the Zealot will just run by into the main and find out about this Hydralisk then. No! Oh! He gets it just in time!
Crazy.
Wow. He manages to deny that. Great observing here by our KCM observer to see that right there. But that is crazy that he's not going to be able to see the Hydralisk Den and could potentially be caught off guard still, even though he got into the main base.
Yeah. I mean, this is working so well for Sulky because by the time the Corsair has confirmed what exactly it is, will be around the timing that Sulky wants to hit anyway. So, unfortunately for Best, he's even made a Dragoon. Oh no. Okay, so it's probably a worst case scenario for Best going forward here. He wants to really desperately try and get some sort of scout off, but he does distract the Lings and allow this probe scout to get out here. So maybe, just maybe, with a little bit of luck, that this probe might see these Hydras pop out, and then Best will have a chance at holding.
Wow, that's a really sick play by Best, actually getting the probe out here.
Yeah.
This is really, really smart stuff from him, and he is going to get in here and see the Hydras popping, and
wow,
that is a massive scout. Even better than having the Corsair come through, because it's just that much faster. It gives him that much more time to start these cannons, and he is going to throw down a whole bunch of them. I think we'll have to see Sulky switch out of this play, right? I don't think this is going to work anymore, is it?
Yeah, he'll have to make this more into a fake Hydra bust for sure. I mean, the Hydras technically will arrive just before the cannons morph in, but because of the other cannons positioning, without range, they still can't really get a lot done before the other cannons warp in.
Yeah, it's going to start to hit this wall here. The cannon positioning is very, very nice, though, and as they finish up, without range, can't hit this. He should be able to get the forge here, though, right? With range, once it's done, probably you'll be able to hit that. I don't know. This is
actually with two or three Hydras can hit it, but like it's still a bit awkward, right? Like eventually, Best could move out. So he's committing to quite a few Hydras, though. He's not. This is like a super fake where he's like he's not just made like 7. He's gone like I don't know, like 9 or 10, maybe even 12 Hydras here. So he will eventually kill this forge. It looks like for sure. But I think Best
is it going to finish in time? I think just barely not able to get that +1. And so denying that and having the layer on the way here with more hatches, we can definitely transition out of this position here.
Yeah.
It's certainly doable when you've denied the +1. The Lings can fight and body block for these Hydras a lot easier. And you can be a lot more effective fighting against the early Zealots. So he can start to drone up really, really heavy now and just rely on the units that he's made to keep Best off of him while he does so.
I think Best is slightly oversaturated in his natural as well. Like I didn't see enough probes in his main and too many in his naturals. I think the mineral smoothing was a little bit off for like a minute there. So I think he's not quite got the mineral influx that he should have. I think he's fixed the minerals now, but there was a little moment there where he wasn't quite mining optimally for like 30 seconds or so at least. So I think that's he hasn't quite got the production online that he should have. Maybe he's like a few 100 or 200 or 300 minerals down than where he should be.
You should be getting double upgrades here behind this, and there it is, 2 forges to try and catch up on that. Those extra gateways are starting to come up, but you can see Sulky just pumping out the drones. This is what he does best, is macroing like an absolute god, as we expect from this guy.
Yeah.
Falling back now with the Lings and Hydras, but you know he's just going to look for a good position where he can fight these Zealots, and his Hydras are really going to start to stack up here soon. The 6 hatch production is now online, and I don't think he needs too many drones at this point. He's going to start to produce a lot of fighting units now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strength of the 6 hatch Hydra. As long as you've got the drone saturation that you need, you can make such a crazy critical mass of Hydras that it's very difficult for the Protoss player to deal with any kind of good storm dodging and what have you. It does get a little bit crazier the bigger your army gets. It's very hard to control a pure Hydra army if you've got like 6 or 8 control groups of Hydras and they're storming you to death. So it gets a little bit trickier to execute the further into the game you go with that kind of style. But Sulky also will keep his options open for a potential muta transition as well. So eventually we might see like 9 or so mutas being made. That's why we see this Dark Arc on here, because he's assuming some kind of muta play to shave off his High Templars, and he wants to shut that down with the Maelstrom. Sulky may go for that eventually, but for the time being he's going to make nothing but pure crazy amounts of Hydra, and it may even just be enough to just stomp Best on its own.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Did he actually see the Dark Archon there with that Ling running in? I'm not sure. Lings don't have very good vision range.
Yeah.
So unlikely that he actually spotted that. Will he suddenly change into Mutus, though? It's not looking like it. Lurker is done, so yeah, he's probably not going to go for that transition. Instead, moving forward to take his 4th base.
Yeah, I think this actually makes more sense from Sulky as well overall. It suits his style more, and will set him up for being able to control this space using the Lurkers. Pure Hydra, you kind of need to be a lot more aggressive and fight the Zealot Templar back at their base and micro backwards, but with Lurkers out on the field, you can kind of be a bit more passive with how you move around the map and engage the Protoss player. You still don't want to let them come onto your side of the map though. So we will see Sulky set up these kind of like soft contained positions on these outside the choke points of best to kind of slow down any advancements and control the lanes and prevent the Protoss player from having too much space available to him to work with and to have to fight for additional space. So this will buy Sulky the time that he needs to just get his, all his pistons firing and going up into his powerful like 7 to 9 hatchery production going into late game here. Will be some time before he makes that transition, but now we see this 3rd base coming online for best, he will be considering that Hive Tech.
There's some High Templar sniping forces. He's kind of baiting the army to move in different directions and then coming in from the backside to try and pick off Templar as they join the army or, try to catch up to the army as it moves up to and fro here. Finally, probe transfer is going to come through, and it looks like Sulky has, tested best here and deemed him worthy of having this 3rd base, and he's not going to try and attack into that. All the moves that Best made there were correct, and no openings were available for Sulky to punish. He's just going to fall over here to his 4th base, set up a really good line of lurkers here, and wait for this attack to come in.
Yeah, he did the optimal thing of pressuring while expanding and macroing, but now Best doing his own version of that, taking his 3rd base and now applying pressure to the Zerg. There's a big long line of lurkers here. Storm goes off, but beautiful dodges, and then committing to Templar snipes as well. Trying to target down individual units as best as possible while using the smallest amount of Hydras possible, but is still getting quite a good amount of Storms off on these clumps of Lurkers though, so Best did get some pretty good value out of his units. Has yet to get the Amulet upgrade to get 3 Storms apiece on these Templars, but as long as he's trading somewhat effectively, maybe he can get a critical amount of goons going that he can start to get something done here, but for the time being it's looking pretty crazy still. A lot of blue on the map and Hydra's waiting at the north flank as well to maybe come in for a pincer or keep control of this lane if Best tries to hit 9 o'clock here.
Best's going to come forward one more time, trade some Storms for some Lurkers. There are stacks here of Lurkers on the left-hand side, so there's some good targets for these Storms to come in on. He's saving a lot of those Storms, though, waiting for the big clumps of Hydras to come forward. That was a great Storm there on the south side, but hopefully he's still got one left over for this north flank. A Maelstrom comes out, but he does not have the Storm to actually combine with it, so just pure Dragoon here. Going to be fighting against the Hydras as they pop out of Maelstrom. Maelstrom does not last nearly as long as some of these other spells, so eventually that runs out, and a big surround comes through for Sulky. A great trade by him, shaving off a lot of this Protoss army.
Yeah, I mean, Maelstrom's kind of like stasis, but it allows you to still attack the units. So the downside for it is that it lasts a lot less time. So you do have to get those units killed or make use of that spell in a much shorter window than something like stasis. So unfortunately for him, not getting the trades that he needs, and Sulky kind of coming out on top. The supplies are looking pretty scary for Best as well. Like Sulky's trailing behind closely, so another drop play is coming into the main base of Best, and I don't think there's anything here to stop this. So I think that some critical damage will be done to Best because he's moving out to the middle of the map now, trying to take a 4th base as his mineral only. He's going to maybe even drop some lurkers at 3 o'clock would be an interesting play as well. But this main drop in the main will be more than enough to do some critical damage here. Maybe even snipe these forges here.
Ooh, a bunch of Templar pop out right as this comes in, but he's not going to be able to drop on top of them to get rid of them immediately. Instead, he's going to drop right here on the Nexus, kill the Nexus, and then it'll be Templar Archives. Forges, of course, are big targets here. And eventually you could go for the Cybernetics Core and the Citadel of a Dune. That really slows down the Templar tech here. But whoa, I feel some really strange lag going on right now. This is something else.
I think Best has flipped his lag hack on or something. What's going on? This is some weird lag all of a sudden. Yeah, like wow, like someone cut the internet cables or something. What's going on here, guys? Like, yeah, really sluggish gameplay.
Well, there's been some glitches with BattleNet recently. I'm not sure if you've seen, but like you actually can't join games right now unless I'm actually lagging as well. But you can't join games right now unless you have the map. So you have to
download it manually.
Like send each other the map. Yeah, download it manually before you can actually join a game, which is really, really annoying if you want to play UMS or.
Bess is angry.
So it might be something to do with BattleNet right now.
Yeah, Bess is upset right now.
Telling him to quit downloading. Yeah, this is not gonna help.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. The slow motion battle here. Both of the players are running through water right now.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. It's like all of a sudden, like all the units are in like chest high water, and they're not very used to walking through water. So they're like, what's this strange medium we now have to traverse through?
Oh my goodness, this is slow as molasses.
This is heavy
One
water.
of the observers leaves, but it doesn't make a difference at all.
This is why I'm watching like Starcraft in slow motion right now. I wonder if that will like greatly affect the outcome of the game. Like, what happens if the game is slowed down so much? Like, does Protoss get an advantage because your storms are just so much more perfect, or does Zerg have an advantage because you can storm dodge more perfect? Like, I wonder if that would necessarily affect the outcome of this game as well.
Yeah, this is like turn rate 1 or something like that.
Wow.
Maybe, you know, slow speed. If you change that option.
We've never had this in KCM, right? We've never had this kind of lag.
I've never had this kind of lag even on the ladder, honestly. It's usually like dropping and eventually somebody, you know, loses connection. It's not, you know, 1/2 speed or 1/4 speed for a long extended period of time.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they can fix this as well. I think they're trying to figure out what to do if they're gonna save the game and reload the save game and see if that fixes it. I don't know what they can do here.
That could be possible. I guess we're gonna try and reload the save, or maybe start over a new game. I'm not sure. It was very, very even there. I'm not sure who was at an advantage, but
I think you could make the case for Sulky being in advantage, but the problem was that the recent trades were not as Sulky-sided as they could have been. So if Sulky did better in those fights earlier, maybe you could argue that, yeah, Sulky's a clear winner here. But with the trades not quite going Sulky's way, I think it looks still more even.
I would be devastated if they just decided one player would win.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit rough.
Over the other. We definitely need a rematch if worst comes to worst here, but
I think it's close enough.
Let's jump ahead.
Yeah, I think it's close enough that rematch needs to be the case.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna go to first person. Oh my goodness.
Are they showing that they're still playing? We just have to rely on first person view only.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
First person mode is what we're gonna resort to here. Looks like the game is running a lot more smoothly now. That both the observers are out of the game. That's kind of crazy. I guess we're not gonna restart the save or anything like that. Just gonna take this fight. Let's see from Solkey's perspective, how this game plays out, man, this is wild.
Well, Sulky needs to
never had this situation.
Sulky needs to kill this base here because he's staying on these 4 bases for quite a long time. And yeah, he wants to get the snipe on this. He has his hive tech on the way, but really critically wants to kill this Nexus. And he's not going to get it. He's not going to get it. He got so many Hydras and he didn't kill the Nexus, saying this is a little bit rough for Sulky. Ideally, he needed that kill on the Nexus considering the current games. So he is taking the top left right now while transitioning into his late game. But still, not getting the kill on that Nexus gives Best a lot more life in this game.
Yeah, the drop play didn't work out as well as he had hoped, and the counterattacks haven't been playing out very well either, but this counterattack might be able to do it here. He's trading really well with Lings against Dragoons north of this position, and he's sniping a lot of Observers right now. He gets a ton of Templar as well. That was an amazing trade for Sulky.
Yeah, it also covers his retreat as well. Without the Observers, he can't push down onto this high ground location and push Sulky away and pin these units in. So right now, a really rough situation for Best. He wants to just retake this mineral only, get that thrown down again and resaturate. We're now seeing the flip side view. Best right now in a little bit of crisis management situation. Currently losing the Nexus, wasn't able to save that as well. That's to cancel that as well. And this is really frustrating for Best. He'd be struggling for resources. He needs this baseline. He's being mined out in his natural expansion and soon his main in just a few moments here. He critically needs to transfer probes to this mineral only when that becomes mined out in his main. And if he can't do that, he's just going to run out of steam. He's got a little force of Zealots in the top left trying to get the shutdown on this hatchery as well. Sulky rallying some units now to try and clean that up. And I think he might just barely save this as well. So yeah, Best is in a little bit of a tough situation.
He's gonna get it, dude. This is gonna go down. He got it. Oh man, that's huge.
There's a lot more units coming in than I thought. Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Like I thought Sulky had a lot more units coming in there. I thought he was going to clean that up for sure. This is kind of wild saying this game. Like I thought that for sure that Best would be in a really, really bad spot right now, but with the killing that base, it's slowing down Sulky enough that maybe we'll see a super late game here.
5+2 Zealots, man. They do deal with Hatch very, very quickly. Unfortunately, Sulky just didn't have the lurkers up there to help out. And now going in for another drop into the main base. This is a wild moment here as the army actually turns around and heads up to the top left. We cannot run. We just can't go back home right now here as Best. There's no way he's going to be able to run home his full army. So he's just going for the counterattack right now. And Sulky's desperately trying to get forces here to save his base in the center left while getting as much damage as humanly possible here in the main.
Yeah, Best knows that if he can get all these units funneled into this tight choke, maybe there's a chance at still trading off the superior army of Sulky, and he is banking on that while the lurkers moving in position and are stacked up. There's some observers here on the right hand side. They're not spotting the lurkers on the left hand side right now, so a lot of spine hits going down onto these dragoons for free. Finally, Best starting to reposition his army in a more tenable position, but if Sulky might be in a little bit of trouble if he can't keep reinforcing this position quick enough, because eventually Best can get more and more units up there and reinforce this attack. So I think this might be a little bit rough for Sulky because he hasn't got a fifth base on the way. He needs to get something done. He needs to kill this fourth base of Best instead. He's going for that now, but the rallied units are already there to defend with some storms. We'll be able to shut down the efforts of Sulky in getting that kill. So now I think this is a very winnable position for Best. He can keep shutting down these bases in the top left while containing the threat of Sulky and eventually whittling him down and securing more bases. But the problem is that Sulky will soon have Defiler tech out with Dark Swarms and Plagues and what have you. So this isn't necessarily a win for Best just yet. And Sulky's still coming in here now, trying to get more pressure on this. But I think there's just beautiful targets on these High Templars critically, though. Might be able to whittle down enough of these critical gas units of Best here, enough to still be in a great position. But I think overall, this is a really hard game to call.
Yeah, the attack over there towards the mineral only of Best fails, but he buys some time to maybe protect the base in the top left. He's really got to get up there here quickly. He has lurkers in front of his third base, or yeah, his center left base, but he needs to move them over here to defend this base quickly. Otherwise, he's going to end up getting shut down. Ling's going to come forward. He tries to clear this and kill this base with just a bunch of Lings and some Dark Swarm. It's just not going to happen because there's enough Storm here to deal with all that. Meanwhile, base in the top left is going to end up going down. Dude, Sulky is running out of steam here.
Yeah, it looks like Best is doing it. Like, so far, so good. I mean, he's shutting down these bases. He's tried to take 6 o'clock, but Best is shutting that down. I think Sulky was just typing something there. I think it was just like maybe telling his stream something or something. I don't know what that was. Yeah, it's a very weird state of affairs to be in. Because I think that Best can now just squeeze the noose around Sulky's neck. It's really hard for Sulky to defend the 6 o'clock base as well. Barely gets the morph on the Archon before the Lynx pick off the High Templar. There does have Dark Swarm to slow this down, but there is maybe enough Zealots to clear out these Lurkers. There's not okay, maybe with the additional Lurkers coming in, I think that maybe Sulky can hold in space, but he could, if he wanted to, run into this 6 o'clock with his army, or push through the Dark Swarm. Oh, with the Storm, though, there's just so much for Sulky to handle. I don't think he's going to be able to save this base at 6. I think he's going to lose all his units and the game.
Well, unless he's typing in power overwhelming, I don't think he's going to be able to take this fight here effectively. Best just shoving forward over and over again and trading out here with the Archon, Zealot, Templar army. The Dragoons are really not doing too much, but eventually some of this Darkstorm is going to dissipate and the Dragoons will come back into the picture. The Lings are just flooding forward here. He's trying so hard to hang on, but he's managed to push far enough forward that the Dragoons can actually fight. Wait, no. More Lings managed to make their way in here. Dude, This tug of war is
crazy.
Killing me right now. It's too tense to call.
Yeah, it's really tough to call. I think that just barely Best will get the better of him, but now Plague's coming out. I mean, he will start to shove into the 6 o'clock pocket. Sulky's going to use that as a window of opportunity to try and get under the Dark Sword, into the wedge between these two armies, split off the army into 2 little pieces here, and then try and gobble up one section of the army at a time with better positioning. Maybe that could work, but trying to get into the 6 o'clock base with some Dark Swarm and Zerkers here, but there's still enough Zealots to clean that forces up. So now drones are starting to die, while the other forces of the Protoss are trying to shut out the Zergs, and now Sulky is kind of biting the dust right now. He can't really hold onto his position any longer. If he had the top left natural already finished up while this was all going on and he was mining up there as well, maybe it's an okay position, but I don't think he's got that base online right now either.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. Best is about to go and check it with the observer, so we're going to see it for ourselves. One last Plague goes down, but I mean, things are looking very, very desperate right now. Best is just firing on all cylinders here with a huge army moving across the map. Sulky, what does he have right now? He does not have top left. The observer spots it. Best knows that he's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, everything just comes down to the 6 o'clock base. Sulky's got a drone there to expand yet again, but Best has a critical mass here that he should be able to win against Sulky's army. Sulky's built a big enough force to try and challenge this mineral-only base. Trying to Dark Swarm down, but there's so many Templars here. He's just gobbling up all of this Zerg army like it's nothing right now. Best is just playing absolutely out of his mind. I didn't expect him to perform this well against Sulky, but here we have it. GG finally called by Sulky. It's going to be Best going against Light. Wow, that's a great lineup as well. Best versus Light is a great matchup.
Is that final push does not work. Sometimes this Dark Swarm is just a target for the Storm of Protoss. He just throws down storms underneath all of that orange cloud, and man,
I didn't see a
that
challenge.
was a crazy, crazy game. I wonder what would have happened or how the game would have been different had we not had that long period of slowdown. However, you can't take anything away from Best there. He played fantastically. He handled everything really, really well. It got chaotic with the drops, but he kept his cool, and he shut down the bases of Sulky effectively. Really, really good game there.
Oh, I forgot post that you said something before.
All right.
I guess
wow,
I
didn't expect to see Sulky go down.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect that at all. Actually, I really thought that Best was going to be the one to bite at that game. But honestly, like, Best versus Light is a really great matchup. So I hope Light doesn't just get squashed, though. I would like to see like a bit more back and forth. Like, I want to see Light versus Snow as well. Would be really good.
Roy is our map, though.
Yeah, cross
might
map
be the end.
Yeah, it might be the end.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
저기 링크를 타고 들어가시거나 그러면은 종최 5주간 동안의 특별 기획전을 통해서
All right, it was cool to see the first-person view, but I'm glad we're back here with the observer to watch this match here. Best versus Light on Troy. Cross map should be fun.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. I really do hope that Best doesn't just ape mode Light here and shut him down. I would love to see a Light versus Snow showdown after this, but it is Troy. Cross map TVP can be a little bit rough for Terrans, and we could be seeing just a gateway first, or maybe even double gate. Looks like a wall in here on the inside, or at least a semi-wall in from Light. He'll be giving himself more options to defend against any potential early zealot pressure here from Best.
I wonder if Light's gonna do something really weird here. Like a really fast starport or something, maybe for a drop or something crazy. He is known to do some really weird stuff, like...
Yeah.
I've even seen him do Wraith against Protoss before, but... I mean, that's just completely out of the whack house, you know what I mean? Like, it's just totally insane.
Oh yeah, usually. I mean, you can't get away with that kind of build unless you've got like perfect execution, and even then it's hard to like make that build work. So yeah, not usually a build you would see, but we can't necessarily count Light out from builds like that. He is capable of all kinds of craziness.
Yeah, this wall is throwing me off, man. What is he gonna do with this? Generally, you want to wall in
CC first,
just at the top of your ramp.
Yeah, the bunker expand.
Bunker expand, okay. Yeah, no gas here, so it's definitely going to be a CC. I think this is just completely designed to throw off Best, right? He comes in, he sees the wall in here. He's expecting a gas behind this, and it's just going to be a CC out of vision. And then suddenly he's just going to come out and take that base. The Nexus gets thrown down here. One Zealot coming across the map. It can't actually shut down the assimilators here or anything like that. It's not going to be able to deal with that damage to like lock Light out because he's got the Marine here already. But you know, maybe he can put some damage on one of those assimilators.
Wow, is he taking the island?
I'm not
first?
sure what he's going to do.
He's floating to the island, I think.
You think he's going to float to the island? Well, that would be insane.
I think he is. I think he's going to show us something different, Zan.
Well, that would be wild. He's still not building a gas, by the way, guys. No gas. So maybe he floats to the island and then goes and takes another base? Is that what we're going to see?
Surely not. I mean, you would need like 2 bunkers on the high ground. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It seems a little bit crazy to me.
There's still no gas.
Yeah,
like, what are we looking at right now?
It might actually be that. How insane would that be if he makes 3 command centers? I'm going to go nuts. I think he is.
Well, I mean...
Wow, I think he is. Oh, no.
There's got to be another CC about to pop down. It's got to be. Yeah, here goes to the island.
Is he going to make it on location as well?
Center. Oh, he's going to block the Zealot out. Nicely done.
Wow.
Oh my god.
He's doing it. The madman is doing it. Look at this handsome nerd right now, figuring out new ways, innovative ways of approaching these maps and this game. I'm all about it. And Bess is making cannons thinking about the bio counter pressure because he saw how late the natural expansion was. He's not expecting this play at all out of like, neither are we. This is so out of pocket that this isn't in Best calculation at all right now.
He's trying to catch the probe here with the Marines, try to fake him out even further. I think Best will finally realize what's happening, but is he really gonna expect the double CC? Does he really expect there must be... Oh yeah, there must be an island. Is that really what you're thinking right now?
I mean, you're certainly not thinking that Light's doing what he's doing right now. No, that's like the last thing that will cross your mind. He might eventually figure this out the longer the game goes on and be like, oh, he did that. But it'll be some time before he fully identifies it.
Yeah, he's got to be wondering, like, what is there going to be? A vulture drop or something behind this? There's got to be some sort of pressure coming. But it's just nothing. It's just going to be a bunch of factories thrown down now. And off of 3 base, he's going to have just an insane amount of production, an insane amount of economy here when he really shouldn't be able to. Kind of a wild approach to Troy, and it's funny that we're only seeing this now when Troy is just about out of the map pool, but Light finding a new way to play on it this late in the game, it's pretty cool.
No, I'm super stoked about it, honestly. Like, it's just interesting. Like, I love people approaching the maps in different ways, and I don't like people feeling like you have to play the game in a certain way. Like, obviously the meta is the meta for a reason, but you don't want to get too stale as well. You don't want to stagnate in your wheelhouse of play, you know, and the meta itself is like a carousel. It keeps going around in a big circle anyway, so you need to keep adapting to it yourself. So I love to see this kind of stuff, and it looks like Light is kind of geared up for everything right now. And with the commitment to cannons early on from Best, it slowed him down enough that, relatively speaking, Light is looking phenomenal right now.
Well, I admittedly hate on maps like this, like Troy. Very often times, but it is super cool to see new strategies like this, and it is understandable why pro leagues like the ASL and KCM want to have some crazy maps in there, because we do get games like this. We do have opportunities for wildness like this and interesting builds like this, and like you said, to break up the meta and try new things is part of the joys of playing StarCraft. And Light here, he's just setting up so nicely with a ton of turrets. He has so much income to work with. He can set up an insane amount of defense here to where Best is probably not going to be able to do anything to him. He's flying in finally with the Observer, and he's going to see this extra base down here.
Yeah, he's going to be like, hang on a minute, why is there a turret there? Let's scoot around a little bit. This is wild. Like, honestly, like, Best is probably like going to be scratching his ape head, wondering, what is going on? Did I really just let this happen?
Yeah, he's got his own third base on the way right now, but look at how long this third of Light has been running. All the SCVs at that base on the low ground have been built at that CC. And there's like a full saturation already.
Yeah, which means he knows it's been there for a long time. You know what I mean? He knows there's no dropship. Like, there'd be a vulture drop or something if there was a dropship in play. So he's very like, what is going on? Like, he must be able to figure out roughly what happened, that he did a super crazy fast CC first. Oh, he's going to do double Observer into the main because one's going to die to the turret, so he's tanking the shots, and he's going to run away that Observer to see if he can get this one in without losing both. Oh,
wow.
Look at Best with his little gorilla brain there, showing us that he's got his thinking cap on from Futurama, and he's a very smart ape indeed.
That was pretty sneaky there. Best managing to get into the main. He does have the scan to deal with the Observer there, but all the factories were revealed. That is so many factories.
Yeah.
At 8 minutes, we've got just an insane factory count here. He's going to have so many units in a moment. How is Best going to be able to handle this? He's double expanding. He's got the expansion over at the left side. I know he's got to stay ahead in expansions right now, but he is about to get hit with a massive army.
This is exactly what Light wants. He wants Best to kind of be a little bit greedy and try and like claw his way back into the curve of the game, but that's just going to set Light up for an even stronger push timing, and that's exactly what we're going to see.
Yeah, he's catching up in supply right now, pumping out waves of tanks and vultures and Goliaths, and Best is going to put together his normal force here of shuttles and Zealots and Dragoons. Let's just see if he's got what it takes to slam the square peg through the round hole this time. It's going to take a lot of ape strength to get it done.
I mean, he's definitely got the strength out of all the Protoss players to do that kind of stuff, but yeah, this is looking wild. I'm not sure if this is the time where it's going to work. You know what I mean? This is a very small hole that Light has created for him to try and get through. So I don't know how he's going to get through.
Arbiter play from Best is going to be the answer, and he's, I think, picking up a probe to drop over at the island. Okay, I don't think he dropped it there. He's going to drop it at 12 instead, which is interesting.
Well, it does.
I guess he's going to make that the island as well.
It kind of makes sense in the sense you're kind of setting yourself up for like having this island as a more free base later on. It might even make more sense to take the top right island base, but you then run the risk of like things from the high ground hitting you, so it does open you up.
He does take that.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that might
That's
be
funny.
in play. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. He's going to take that. And a recall is likely to come around here into the main base. It's not very typical to see recall into the main these days, but maybe it'll end up working out for best in this kind of wacky situation we find ourselves in. At the same time, though, Light is shoving towards this natural and getting very, very close here.
Ooh.
Killing one assimilator just to make sure that the army can't get through. Okay, he's going to kill his own assimilators back at home. I think this is what we're going to see. He's going to kill one of his own assimilators back at home. He's going to recall everything into the main.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be anywhere for Light to attack into.
That's the idea.
This is going to be insane.
This is really, really weird thought out play from Best here, but I'm not sure if it's still going to work, but hey, I think it's really creative. Like, we've seen like 2 really creative approaches to this map in this game already, and I'm all about it, saying this is the kind of Starcraft that I love to see.
Yeah, this is wild. I guess we don't have energy just yet. Yeah, not quite enough energy just yet. And will he go for the third, or is he going to actually just dive into the main? I think he might just go for the third here. What do you think, Shun?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. I think, honestly though, I think like makes more sense to just recall into the factories here.
Oh, right on top of the tank, and he could go for the assimilator. Oh man, this is crazy.
He's gonna lock him out.
He's gonna go right for the assimilator and lock all these factories in.
What are we watching?
Oh my god!
What is happening?
Are you kidding me?
This is wild.
Best is outplaying. Like we just saw Light make such an amazing move here in the early game and completely mind game Best, and now Best has turned it completely around and is utilizing these assimilators so perfectly. He's gonna kill everything in the main.
He's the Einstein of apes. Like, what is going on in this game right now? Saying completely locking out the turn from his main base and now getting top of the production line. He needs to make sure he can keep killing these units effectively so he can like actually kill off some of the factories. But even just trading off the units in the main base for quite a substantial amount of time will be annoying in of itself. I think eventually he'll stabilize. It's a shame he doesn't have another arbiter to recall another bunch of units into the main base, but yeah, I think Light will stabilize, but he has lost quite a bit of supply trading off these units slowly but surely.
And now we're gonna have a situation where Light has to airlift his army out of his main base to try and get out on the map. This is going to be a nightmare for him now. Single arbiter moving through the middle of the map. He's trying to find a path that's not been covered here by mines and other units of Light, but Light spots that with the SCV there in the center left. Can this Arbiter make it through over here into the main base once again? Army is looking for a place to attack, but there's just no area to attack right now. He just doesn't have any options here of where to go with this army. The Dragoons are, of course, going to get splattered, but then what? Where is he going to go with this?
We got another recall into the main base saying there's a few tanks already sieged up, but we can recall on top of those siege tanks, so this could get real wild real quick. And there's a lot of zealots in this. Oh my days. Like, usually you'd want to quite a Dragoon heavy recall, but it's actually not too bad in this current situation, having just like 4 Dragoons and the rest pure zealot just wreaking havoc in the main base. Absolutely wild game state that we seem to find ourselves in. I don't think we have any kind of carrier transitions or anything like that occurring, but it doesn't really matter as long as we can keep getting the recalls off in the main and cutting off the head of the snake here and doing a lot of killing the infrastructure, eventually maybe killing some of these armories and supply depots. All kinds of stuff can occur to the point where we get into a game-winning state without having to engage this army out on the map. 170 is applied to 107 right now, saying this ape is insane.
Is it time to just... I feel like we just float the factories into the middle of the map and start making units out there, but instead he's gonna try to like airlift stuff back into the main to keep stuff alive. But like, I guess losing all of the supply depots here is too much. He can't afford to lose all of that. But he's lost every factory at this point. Only 2 still standing. Oh no, 4 actually. A lot of them burning down though right now, and he's gonna have another recall soon. This Arbit has been alive for too long.
Well, it's just I'm honestly quite speechless about this. That Best has like managed to outplay Light in such a very strong fashion. Like this isn't like a small kind of mind game here. This is like really advanced level play stuff here from Best, really understanding both the game state and the map and how best to abuse it. And even while being quite sufficiently behind in the game with that huge early economic lead from Light going for that triple CC play.
It's beautiful the way that Best has managed to bring this back, and I think the only thing that would make sense right now, actually, from Best would be if he just switched into carrier right now. I think that would be the perfect way to finish this game off. I don't see the transition just yet. He's actually not mining gas at a lot of his bases, so he can't really afford it right now, but I really do feel like that would be the killing blow here. There's no way that Light can attack into any of these bases right now, and we just have so many islands to fight from. Why not go into carrier and just take this game easily?
Yeah, and Best is going to go around and lock out all these other bases as well, so they'll only be accessible via air, and Zealots can still squeeze through if it's only one geyser's been killed as well, so still has use of these Zealots in these pocket bases for the time being until the other assimilators kill. We can kill both of them there? Wow.
I guess so. Now you can't even transfer SCVs.
Yeah, this is really rough for Light going forward here. I mean, he's going to try and come out onto the center of the board yet again, but it's really hard for him to get something done. He has got 3 dropships available to him to start, like, you know, cycling units over the walls of these assimilators to start laying siege to these bases and, like, playing whack-a-mole with the expansions of Best right now. But the one thing going bad for Best is that it took a little bit of time for him to start mining these additional gases. So he hasn't got a lot of gas available to him, but he has got a lot of Zealots. So Light can utilize vultures out on the map to kind of like raid against the Zealot armies and try and get some damage done. But Dark Templars are also being made to try and slow down the advancement of these pushes. So it will be a little bit tricky for Light to get cost effectiveness here. And 4 shuttles, Saiyan, going to be coming to defend here.
Yeah, these 4 shuttles are going to bring enough oomph here to the army to likely take down all of these tanks and clear all of this army. Light dropping near 100 supply is actually going to pick up a lot of this army and just kind of drop back on the other side to try and take a better trade here. But the tank count has just been lowered so drastically, and Bez is just going to load up another army group here, and the advancing forces of Light are smaller and smaller, whereas Bez is getting larger and larger. A 80 supply advantage now?
Yeah.
It's just growing and growing here, and another recall is likely to come into the main now.
It's so brutal as well. He's not even got like a critical amount of factories to pump units from as well. Like everything is just really not looking good for like even got the cannons on the high ground at these assimilators make it difficult to come in here with the dropships and like lay siege to the island base from the high ground as well. There's not really a lot of vectors of attack left open for Light to exploit anymore as well. So right now this is looking better and better for Best the longer that this game goes on. Is now mined out in the main base, so has a big fleet of shuttles to come and scoop up all those probes. You don't see that every day, but it's nice to see. Little refugee Protoss style going on here on this map here, but it's all the bases being locked out from normal unit traversal.
Yeah, it's gonna load all those up, drop here on some of these islands, start to suck up those minerals, although he's already got a 4k bank and maxed supply. Might as well start sucking up some more minerals here and make sure that you have even more bank to work with should the worst come to pass. Like, he's not got full vision of what Terran has right now. He doesn't know what we know, that he has like an 80 supply advantage. It could be a little bit tighter than that, so he's just making sure that he can win this game, and he will be transitioning finally into carrier. This is what I was looking for. It's the perfect option when everything is an island to just go for carriers in the late game.
Here comes the recall into the island expansion as well to shut out some mining there and really limit the resources available to Light to get maxed out to deal with those carriers. And it is a really good insurance policy in the late game, getting those carriers and going double core as well to get upgrades on both the armor and weapons of those to make sure they can still trade cost efficiently, because Light does have pretty good upgrades, so you don't want to just tickle his units to death. You want to make sure you can actually get some good trades there. Light finally going to be taking out this 12 o'clock, it looks like. Has also scouted this island being taken, but I don't think he's got the forces to bear to both defend against this big poor man recall handful of shuttles that are going to be scooping up these units and continuing the assault in the main base, while also having to have the units available to him to keep laying siege to these bases. So it looks like Light's going to eventually get squeezed out of this game. Big, beautiful mine hits, though, going off, and with the Goliath's target firing down some of those shuttles does lock out a lot of the potential of this, the drop in the bottom right, though. So pretty much best case scenario for the drop, as he also lays siege to this island base of Bess inversely, but some shuttles are going to be trying to dive onto that to clean this up.
Well, that first trade went about as well as you could possibly hope here as Light. I mean, he killed a lot of probes, he denied some bases, he's still flying around here with the dropships. Maybe you can find a small area where cannons can't hit and zealots aren't present, that he can actually hit, kill some more army, some more probes. It's a nice last-ditch effort here for Light, but it is a last-ditch effort. He's got almost no mining here left over. His natural is just about to run out of minerals, and he cannot take any more bases right now. Everything's been locked out for him. He might try to come up to the top right and take the natural, but that's really the only accessible base by ground right now.
Yeah, the only thing really going bad for Bess is that he's like slow in like setting up his gas mining. Like he has taken some time before getting his probes onto gas. He just now started mining gas in top right and at 9 o'clock. So we'll be churning out a little bit of extra gas that he needs to keep pumping out carriers and the other gas heavy units that he needs to finish out this game. Has got a pretty strong insurance policy, 4 Stargates available to him, so he can produce up to 4 carriers at a time. So far they're only producing 2, so won't be having a critical mass of a carrier fleet to win the game anytime soon, but eventually he will have those carriers become more relevant. Recall going to be going off at 3 o'clock here. Only a small pocket of goons, but it should be just enough to clear out these Goliaths here and also maybe get the cancel or the float on this CC.
Yeah, unfortunately, Goliaths, they really do not do well against these Dragoons, and although we've got this little push here, it's a cute little push over into the top right. He's trying to deal some damage to the Nexus over here. There's just so many Nexi around the map that are mining happily here for Best. Even if he managed to kill this, and it's unlikely that he'll be able to take that down, he still wouldn't be in a great position. The Arbiter's going to finish off the command center here. That's something you don't see every day.
Certainly
but
not.
He does finish that off.
Yeah, only 10 damage, half of the damage of the Dragoons on that Arbiter, so usually doesn't get that many kills. There's like more units coming over via shuttle to reinforce this position in the top right against this singular D-Matrix tank. Going to be shutting that down. A lone science vessel trying to make its exit, but this is looking pretty dire here. Pretty much all the resources for Light have been dried up, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get a third base online unchallenged. We have 6 o'clock being the base of choice now for Light, trying to shuttle down some units into this position here, trying to set up some kind of ability to mine here. He had a Zealot underneath that CC blocking it from landing for some time. Has another recall available to just come straight down into the 6 o'clock as soon as a window becomes available here.
Yeah, here we go. Gonna get that recall off, and that's a lot of Zealots to deal with. Just pure Goliath is not gonna cut it here. And you can see he tries to target down that Arbiter. It's just not gonna be enough. Some more shuttles come through as well. Max supply here for Best, and Light is barely able to keep 100. Carriers are the follow-up that will just not be beaten here. Light is struggling against just a few Zealots. Carriers are going to absolutely crush. Just moments away from a tap out here, I feel, although the money is getting low here for Best. It's just, there's really no hope left for Light at this point.
Well, I mean, if there was some way he could get all these units on top of the carriers before they got their interceptors finished, maybe there'd be some way he could win. If he could get all these units into the main base and start killing, always killing the shuttles. If he can get in there and pincer these carriers with these units, not a lot of interceptors have been produced just yet. Maybe there's a tiny window where he can get on top of these carriers, but I don't think he's even identified that as an opportunity here. So I think that it will be more of a passive game state of cycling his units around the map and eventually just bleeding himself dry here.
Yeah, he's got no place to mine. The carriers are going to come out and start to clear things, stop Light from taking any positions here. He does throw down an EMP, funnily enough, on these cannons, so they will die very, very fast. He drops right on top of all of this, and he's trying to take this fight, but there's just too many Zealots, and the carriers have yet to join this. A good final hurrah here for Light, honestly, but there it is. The carrier's coming forward here. Gonna start to snipe tanks, snipe Goliaths, and clear this top right-hand area. There it is, GG. Wow, some great innovative play from both sides in this game. Really fantastic. Gets the clapper from KCM very enthusiastically. Excellent, excellent final game here in our first week.
Wow, it's a crazy game.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I'm kind of really impressed by Best's ability to mold that game state like that.
Yeah, he did a fantastic comeback, really. I thought that he was going to get run over.
Yeah, but he should have got run over, you know what I mean? Like, all things considered. Like, the only reason he didn't was because it was almost like that was the only line of play that made sense. Like, how do I strategically even get any advantage with this current game state? And that was the answer. That was the only answer that actually made sense on paper when you think about it.
Yeah. Because I can't fight this army. We have to play refugee mode. Cut off all the islands and go for a recall. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool last game.
I mean, I would have liked to have seen a Light versus Snow finals, but it doesn't matter. I think that was a great finale game to finish on. Really bizarre for both sides. I liked it. It's a good way of saying goodbye to some of these maps that will be cycled out as well.
For sure. All right, let's wrap up. Well, guys, there you have it. The final match there. Definitely the gem of the night. But there were so many great diamonds there. So many excellent, excellent games this week. Where to even start, Shun?
You're kind of spoiled for choice. Some of these weeks just get better. You know, they like age like fine wine. Like you think you're getting a good week, and then like you see the rest of the sets, you're like, ooh. I'm really kind of blown away by what happened in the finale, though. Like, it was really special to see such innovative play from both sides. The opening from Light going triple command center with utilizing the island, and Best navigating his way into probably the only strategic advantage that he could muster, which was that refugee style of just sacrificing the natural, closing out all the other entrances. And yeah, just really beautiful stuff, like beautiful Starcraft, and a great way of like saying goodbye to some of these maps, which will be cycled out eventually as we usher in the new era of balance and maps to the scene.
Yeah, excited for those new maps, guys. Those are going to be coming up in future weeks. I've got to go and put together an intro for this week. I've completely forgotten about putting that together, so I'm going to throw that together quickly and get this video out to you. Shun, thank you so much for being here, man.
My pleasure.
It's always a pleasure. And guys, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think we need to be super analytical in wrap ups, especially on like week 1 when it's like not much to talk about in terms of like points and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh man, I love it when it's like tempo-y back and forth, and the games themselves were very like tug of war-esque as well.
Yeah, bro.
That's some wild shit.
That was a good time. That was a good old time.
So I see that you've got your own like Roshi style logo in the theme, but you as the character, right? It's like you, but in like Roshi style almost.
You like that?
Yeah, I like it.
A lot of people have hit me up saying they like it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like it a lot. I mean, it did kind of like weird me out when I first saw it because like I've gotten so used to you having a certain avatar that when I see it change finally, like at first it's like, huh? And then like you see what it is and then you get used to it, you know?
Yeah, I made it with AI.
Nice.
Microsoft Designer.
What did you like tell it exactly? Like what prompt did you give it, so to speak?
I think I said Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z with a red beard, smiling at the camera, nosebleed, something like that. I don't. It wouldn't give me a nosebleed, but the thing that I was kind of going for was more like the gap toothed Master Roshi with the big smile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just said black sunglasses, red beard, bald head, Master Roshi, and I got this, and I thought, dude, that's sick.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
It's not exactly what I was looking for, but that's a fucking sick. Oh yeah, anime style. You have to say anime style, otherwise they'll give you like a human-looking picture. You know what I mean?
Do you know what it looks like to me? It looks like Roshi and Saitama, like One Punch Man Saitama, had a love child, and you were their child. If you know what I mean. Oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna kill my stream real quick and say something off stream. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're still tuned in, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.